about that particular thing. And I believe that Mr. Hoffman has a good knowledge of the law, that he understands what needs to be done, that he's a fair and personable man who is easy to talk to, easy to deal with, and knows his shit.
I would
Well, you
say
flatter me.
you do
So
seem to have blunted affect, and it does make you slightly scary, but I like you anyway.
Yeah, like,
It's
yeah,
an
I mean,
unfortunate side
guys,
effect of
friendly
the
faces,
education.
please.
yeah, it's really like difficult. I can understand that, like, in order to take this guy out, only like one person can do it, but like that person won't do it. And it's like, well, what the fuck is the point of it then?
Why do we have a person sitting in the justice's office who refuses to hear what she's being told? I love her. I like her. I don't want to be the person that goes there. But if you cannot listen to what the people are telling you and get rid of a bad apple, then you are worthless to
It's
us as
unfortunate that
people
it
and
would
a
destroy.
community.
It's
Yeah,
unfortunate that it would work to destroy the trust in the Justice Department too, because it's a system that deserves trust when it's run properly.
yeah,
It's a system that needs it because it
Without
is
that
the only
trust in place,
institution that is
yeah.
the final answer in an argument. Without it, it just keeps fighting.
Without that trust in place, it's going to have some harmful effects on the population at large.
yeah. Like it should be like a people's vote, you know?
And how do you
Well,
do that? How do you do that when the people at the highest positions of power are
The, the,
telling you you
that's
can't?
the problem. You have
We
the
gotta go
people.
to them people and be
That's
like,
the
hey, this
problem
not
here.
okay.
That's the problem here. You have a single individual who, in one fell swoop, can A, write the law, B, enforce the law through direction of the marshals, and C, adjudicate the law in supposedly a non-biased manner.
But how do we fix it?
Start a ruckus.
No, we don't
No.
start a goddamn ruckus.
I don't know about starting a ruckus,
Then
but
how are you going to make a point?
I
you
think
kind of
we've
got.
made it. We made a point yesterday. Did we make a point, Mr. Valdez? Jackal, do you think we made a point?
Yeah, like, could we like all go to like the same thing
If you
and
want to
just like
talk civilly,
protest like
yes,
and
I
say like,
believe a
hey,
point has
fuck
been
you, get
made.
out of here.
However,
They're never going to change if they know that if you are to like keep doing what you're doing, that you're not going to like you're just going to speak verbally. That
When the
they
Justice
don't really give a
Department
fuck.
sets itself as the enemy of the people at large,
yeah, you just
there
want to
needs
wrap
to be
up
some
and go.
serious issues addressed beyond the original point.
I
Um,
would like
excuse
I would
me.
like to hear but see the problem is I'd like to hear from see the two gentlemen over here I consider really dear friends of mine won't even talk to me right now because they can't. I guess they can't. But I'd like to hear their side of it, but I don't think they'll talk about it. I mean, Valdez, if you want to come up here and have a go at it and explain us, your side of things, I'm sure everybody'd love to hear it. But the marshals won't because they're law
We
enforcement and they're not
won't.
allowed to really do that according to the law either.
Names. Every
What?
morning I come check in with you and talk to you, and I've informed everybody here. If you have a problem, talk to me. I'll see what I can do for you. Put it up the chain. I don't think. I mean, hell, yesterday I went around town, talked to every civilian I saw. Now, I think what's going on here is beautiful. I think it's within your rights, and I think it's important that you exercise them. If you have a problem with this justice, you should go to the Chief Justice as you did and see it through. And I understand she gave you a compromise that would be suitable to both sides, that is in the best interest of the state and the best interest of the people. But I do
That
understand that you
compromise is
That
got.
is
not
that
enough.
compromise is not the
I
best interest.
apologize. Are
Can
we
you
gonna
can
Sorry,
you
have
let
let
him
him
this?
talk.
finish,
Let him
please?
talk. Let him
Oh
talk.
yes, if it's a civil discussion, we should treat each other like adults and not speak over each other. We've been
You're right.
respectful, so
You're
thank
right.
you. Now, whether it's agreed that it's in the best decision of both parties, that's a matter of opinion. I think if you still have an issue, I would continue to send complaints to the justice, and if it gets really bad, go to El Presidente, and I'm sure he'll hear you out. Right? But sitting here saying I'm gonna cause a ruckus, it's stupid. Because all that does is
I
ruin
didn't
the
say
cause.
that.
I'm not. I'm just speaking in general. Going out there and causing that's not gonna help your cause. What you're doing right now is effective. It's a good way to go about it. Keep doing what you're doing, but don't cross that line. It ain't gonna help you out.
Was that a threat?
No, it's a word
no,
of
and
advice.
Marshall Jackal is correct. I'm not Marshall Jackal. My apologies. That's
Valdez.
Marshall Valdez is correct. Those sorts of extremes are the end line. They're the last resort, and we have so many other options before us before we reach that point. And let's pray to God we never reach that point because this land deserves so much better.
Now she did say to me, the Chief Justice did say to me, by all means, give me a replacement. If you think you can give me a replacement, then by all means do it. I had nothing to offer her. I don't have a replacement.
Because nobody wants to work in the federal justice department. When I was invited to that department, I was belittled, I was laughed at, I was diminished, basically ridiculed by every way possible can. Mr. Peyton Law was one of them. Mr. Mitchell Woods was one of them. To the point where I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and do my own stuff in my state of Lemoyne with the governor, and I don't have to suffer that kind of a treatment in the Justice Department, and that's why I left.
Thank you for sharing
So
that.
nobody wants to work there. That's simple as that.
Well, and Andy has a good point also when I was talking to her a little bit. We are not big enough to hold all of this. That's another issue. How in the hell are we going to do this every 2 months? How the hell are we going to do this every 2 months? Is this the kind of political bullshit we're going to have to go through every 2 months? But I'll tell you right now, there are people, and I know there are people out here looking for an opportunity to start burning shit down. And that's not what I represent, and that's not what any of my fucking friends represent.
That said, this country has gone to that line before, not too distant past. There was a civil war on that line, where democratic freedoms were brought to the point of violence. I'm not saying it's a good option, but I'm saying if we back down from it as the final line,
Very poetic, Mr. Buck, yes. In an
I
effort
believe
to
that the
detest that kind
Justice
of
Department
actions.
and the marshals want this to happen. If we revolt, they will have a perfect excuse to
No,
extinguish this. So we
I
that
don't-
should be
I
smart
is
about it.
completely incorrect, Miss Trask.
Mr. Valdez, you were there when you were torturing Mr. Kevin, cutting off his toes under the
Who is Mr. Kevin
jurisdiction
now?
from the Chief Justice, who said, hunt the Washingtons at all means necessary. I was there. Mr. Sheriff Sledgehammer witnessed what you did by cutting off his toes and told the whole town of Valentine. I was there. I remember it.
So, Miss Trask, unfortunately, I would have to ask exactly who you were talking about, Mr. Kevin. I would also like to know the date and time.
Kevin
But if it's
Washington inside the
Kevin
fort. There was
Washington,
also Miss Jemma Hart present there and a bunch of other marshals. I was there as well as an injured person for a while. Then I left, and when I came back to the town,
yes,
Mr. Sledgehammer, the sheriff, who couldn't take this injustice, told the whole town what you guys were doing there. And
Miss
then I had
Trask.
Mr. Kevin come to me as a patient showing his missing toes.
That
So
man
I'm
was
sorry.
actually on their behalf. They
The
actually removed
yes,
that man Miles from the. He was
Marshall
fired.
Marshall Miles was punished accordingly for his actions.
Why
literally
is Mr.
30 minutes
Valdez still sitting
afterwards
there?
because I did not
He,
participate in that
I was there.
mannerisms.
Valdez didn't.
Yes, he was
He
given
wasn't.
no order to do so. He was ordered to watch the prisoner, but because
Valdez
he
was
had
quite the opposite.
personal,
I will stand up for Valdez on that one. I was there and I heard Valdez talk about that afterwards. They were so mad, Jackal, Valdez, all of them, that he had done that. I saw the behind the scenes of that. They were angry that he had done that because he made them all look bad.
yes, I would make it
But our
clear.
fault is, and my fault as well, is that we walked away from it and we did nothing. I looked in the window. I saw what was going on. I was angry with what was going on. I turned around and said, I can't be here. And I rode back to Valentine. I was
Yes,
wrong.
okay.
I was wrong.
So,
I should have turned
Perhaps I
around,
was wrong
walked
as
in
well
there, and
what I
stopped
heard.
it.
But I have to say, when Chief Justice gives an order to hunt people at any means necessary, to marshals to break the law and everything like that, I know some marshals are good. They don't want to be part of it. But that, in my opinion, using marshals as a tools of corruption is also not good. And I feel like Mr. Woods right now used marshals as a tools of corruption.
so I would like to intervene here in terms of, the situation that happened. Like you said, there was a swift punishment given. No orders to harm the prisoner was there, but because of personal relations between said marshal, ex-marshal now, who was discharged, and that individual, something occurred and trust was broken, but it was dealt with. In terms of the Washington situation, there was a case for the arrest of nearly the whole family for charges of kidnapping, murder, torture, etc., etc. They would be to be apprehended, and we had several statements to back it up. Unfortunately, we understand that the another set of U.S. Marshals roped them up before we could and deported them, which halted, our personal case, and it was already dealt with by the federal government. But that was the case, and they were deemed the biggest threat. They had put several attempts and threats and lives of many other government officials, so that was the case. We were acting in haste. Now, I do agree with you that using, the Marshal Service is like it's a tool, it's a tool you got on your tool shed. How you use it is completely up to you. It can be elegant or it can be swift. That completely depends on the justices put above them. If you agree that Judge Woods is unfit to handle this tool, then by all means, go through the proper channels and get him removed to provide a replacement.
I
But
mean, people
please,
did go through the proper channels, and the Woods is still in the place. What do you suggest us to do, Marshal Valdez?
what I suggest you to do what you're doing right now, continue to rally and speak to the Chief Justice. I understand there's a compromise given, provided, last night at the time she had to deal with it and talk to y'all and say, okay, so what I see is what we're going to do. Right. You do it. Complaints in the past. She's acted on them. She sees, all right, this Caballero right here, this justice, is causing civil unrest. That's no bueno, right? I'm gonna hear y'all, but I also need to look out for the Justice Department, make sure we're still efficient. And I'm going to apprehend him. And right now, I guess the best way to look at it is he's been dealt with, he's been punished, and she's looking for a replacement until one can be provided that is appropriate
How
for the
is he
role.
punished when he is allowed to still
Because
be
he is
corrupt
not
in the
allowed
courtroom?
to corrupt in the courtroom, ma'am.
Wait a
He's
minute.
not
Wait a minute. Who are we? Woods has been punished.
Woods, as you had informed, was restricted to only court proceedings. And
That
obviously
is not a
reviewed by the
punishment,
Chief
Valdez.
Justice.
If you don't see that, then I don't know how to help you.
Well,
That is not a
Amy,
punishment. He should be court-martialed for what he did.
would you not say taken away? If you have a set of toys on a table and I take one away and tell you you're gonna have it, would that not be a punishment? Justice Woods
Given
is not
that the
allowed.
That
only
doesn't
toy he
make it.
should
Could
have
I
on the table
finish,
is in a
please?
courtroom.
Or are you gonna
You
cut me
let him
off?
finish.
Please,
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to have a civil
Sure.
conversation with you. Thank you, Caballero. Now, he had a right to come or speak to y'all and do all that and interact. And now he's been restricted to one place. Now, as my understanding, it's still being reviewed. There's still choices being made. And I would honestly, I encourage y'all to keep doing what you're doing and bring more issues that you'd like to see revolved to the justice system. I don't think there's anything less that anyone would like to see, especially the marshals. We would love to see what y'all want to see, want to have. There's issues in the past, bring them up. We can address them just like we did with the washed Kevin, whatever his name was, and all this. We've addressed it. And we said, well, listen, there's a miscommunication. There are obvious issues. Shit happens. It's been dealt with. So I think right now your rally has already discussed and addressed the thing that yes, Judge Woods has had a temperamental issue and caused a lot of unrest with civilians. Yes, that is correct. Yes, we have addressed the Chief Justice and she has informed her that she has looked at the situation. She is looking at the situation. She has made some minor reprimandings until she can find another replacement and do what it is that you want to be done. So until that time, why keep beating a dead horse? Just I would suggest personally, we understand that it's
It's.
been dealt with. Are we
Are
gonna
you?
keep beating? I apologize.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I just wasn't sure you're finished. No, it's my bad. Go ahead.
Well, I just the way the conversation is going is we're looping back to the same thing over and over, which has been addressed and is being addressed, and keep going in this direction. And it seems like it's gonna start getting, oh, what riot? We got to blah 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 blah. It's like okay,
Okay.
calmate.
Things.
Nobody's
Things. Things.
rioting here.
Things only end in riot when things are not answered responsibly. Taking a man who treated people like complete shit and saying, hey, you can't talk to people anymore, you're confined to court cases which determine the fates of people's lives. And somehow that's better as a solution. It's not. It's not. It's
May I
not a
speak?
punishment. That is not a punishment. That
You
is
want to
a
speak out,
gag,
Jackal?
but it's not a punishment. It's sweeping the problem under the rug.
May I speak?
Oh,
Yeah.
My concern and the reason this keeps looping around, Marshal Valdez, is because despite that, it keeps happening. It happened this morning when the Chief Justice wasn't in the room. He threatened me with contempt of court in a pretrial meeting where we were having a conversation without the Chief Justice because she had issues with your ears, and
Yes, I was present.
yeah, it keeps
Yes,
happening. That's why
Doctor.
we're agitating more, sir.
I understand. I would like to clear up your misconception during a pre-trial, the court proceedings, the hearings that were, to determine what would happen with said patient. There were several instances in which you spoke out over the Chief Justice and was informed to allow her to speak and not speak over her. In the same light with Miss Jemma.
To clarify, sir, this was when the Chief Justice was not present. He put to me an ultimatum when she was not in the room. I
The
refused to
issue,
answer until she returned.
the issue there too is that it was a contempt of or threat, a contempt of court threat without a courtroom proceeding or a court order associated.
You can't
Nope.
have a half a law.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You can't have a half a law and say we want this part, but we don't want that part. You don't get to pick and choose like that. You don't have that right to do that over people. You can't just say this one works good for me, but this one maybe not so good. You're either going to take it for what it is and follow it. Follow the letter of the law, no
Well,
matter
and you,
what it brings for you, but you can't do this. You can't just pick what you want, what works for you.
well, I'm sorry, but it's just wrong to hogtie someone and drag them through the streets just because you want them to listen to you. What happened to your freedoms then?
He wasn't dragged through the streets. Someone went and started that rumor that is not true. He was simply hogtied. I do not want. I want to be very careful about what's being said because I don't want untruths being spread because that just makes people look bad and it disparages our point. But he was
But still,
hogtied and
hogtied is
yeah,
is
a
just as
governor,
bad.
a man who has served Saint Denis well,
And a man who is
hogtied.
respected and loved by many people, who's more than fair with most. As far as I know. I haven't been here long, but my dealings with him have been all very pleasant. He seems to be, a reasonable man.
And
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 but
and the
but I
fact that
think we
sorry.
need to we need to do something. We can't just be complacent and let this go on. That's the point.
Yeah. So the ultimatum was like, if you find someone to replace him, then
If
If
a
a
replacement
replacement
is
is
all
all
they
they
need,
need,
then
then
we'll
we'll
provide
provide
them
them
with
with
one.
one.
yeah, like why don't we like put up like something on the pinboard or something? Be like, hey, like, do you want to be what was it, chief justice? What was the replacement for? Court
A
judge,
federal judge.
federal judge. Yeah, like, do you want to be federal judge? Like, come put your name in the hat, and then like the people can like vote for them who they want to be federal judge. Maybe I don't know.
How about I'll paint this picture for you, Al? How about we don't have a federal justice system? How about we don't have a marshals? Now, all the states have their governors. The governors will decide the state justice. The governors and all the states will create, let's say, 3 to 4 people, a group of rangers that act as a state law enforcement, kind of like a marshals. And all the 3 states will band together to agree those rangers from their respective states to cross over and hunt down the criminals, and states will have their own justice system, which will have consist of just state justice, general attorney, and the governor. All 3 is going to be watching over each other. If one of them corrupt, the 2 others will react to it, just like we have in Lemoyne right now. This has been a long process when we were building this state in the Lemoyne. And now that we have our Attorney General, who is going to be watching if I get corrupt, since I'm state justice, he will take action. If I see him getting corrupt, I will take action. If the governor gets corrupt, we will take action. So we have systems in place to watch that there is not gonna be corruption, and if there will be accountability. Right now, the federal justice system, if they are corrupt, they answer to no one. Nobody can do anything to them, you know? And that's why I think maybe perhaps abolishing the federal justice system completely and let states do their own laws would be the better idea.
Yeah, like I mean, I can understand that, but that is like massive undertaking.
And we
It's
have
also how civil
succeeded that
wars
in the
start.
state of Lemoyne.
Yeah, like
Civil War. Nobody's talking about Civil War except
yeah,
you guys. You guys
No,
are the
no
ones
civil
going
war,
around here
no
spouting off
rioting.
about how
Yes.
this is going to end in violence. The only
yeah,
people
like
I hear talking about it is the marshals. This is going to end in violence. I'm doing everything I can to keep it from ending in violence.
yeah,
I got a simple solution for you. You don't want it to end in violence? Listen to the fucking people and remove the man from his post. We will provide you with a replacement.
Yeah, like it's kind of
In
straightforward.
fairness to Mr. Valdez, sorry, Feather, you go ahead.
No, like I was just agreeing. You go.
Oh, in fairness to Mr. Valdez, I did say before this pretrial meeting that if they hang a man unlawfully for something that he cannot control, I will consider using my rights under Article 2, Subsection E of the Federal Court rules here because I cannot abide somebody suffering for something they cannot control. Thankfully, the Chief Justice agreed, and he's not going to hang for something he can't control. So I have no intention of being violent to anyone.
But this is not right. You shouldn't apply that article or the law in place just to save somebody's life because the justice system or federal justice system doesn't work.
Andy, go ahead.
Agreed.
I just feel like a lot of this, we're talking about politics, we're talking about justice systems, when we barely even have, businesses, running at all, anywhere.
And why are the businesses having difficulty running? Why are the state governments having difficulty operating?
Because we don't have the interest that people are out hunting. They're not thinking about, starting businesses or anything of that sort. They're just trying to survive, I feel like, at this point.
And I think that's a
Well,
symptom of a greater cause. Go ahead, Primrose.
well, I would just like to announce that I have just signed a lease to run the general store in Saint Denis, and I also run the general store in Blackwater. So I think there is interest out there,
Yeah,
but
like I know somebody who's got money who wants to like buy property and like do stuff like that, but there's no property for him to like buy.
But even so, I feel like we're focusing on this political and this judicial things up at a very high level when we need to be focusing smaller down,
Right. And that's where I come from with the questions I was asking just now. Because in order for businesses to be running, we need to have mayors. And we need to have law enforcement in order to protect those issues of the mayors, and that should be done from the local level. Absolutely. We should fill the local slots before we even start worrying about having some sort of, you know, posse running around for a madman's, you know, delusions of grandeur. And then from there we need to empower our states. We need to encourage our states, and we need to make sure that good faith efforts by the states to move forward are not met with hindering investigations or efforts in order to impede their progress for the state. Um, that there can be investigations for sure. There can be things looked into, but these efforts should be made um, with the well-being of the states in mind.
The
I think
question
therein
is, oh,
lies
sorry.
the issue.
Say again, Andy.
Therein lies the issue because with people like Mr. Woods in power who don't really care about any of that, they only care about their own power and keeping it.
And see, that's the thing. Nobody wants to get involved with their governments or their local businesses when doing so carries an immense risk just for tallying a number wrong or making some sort of thing that you believe is empowered to you under the current existing law, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you've got six marshals showing up to your door to take you off to Fort Wallace and inform you that no, you can't do that after all, and then they give you a new version of the law, and it's hell. Nobody wants to get involved with that because there's too much liability.
I can definitely say that though I have not had those same fears, I have had those thoughts as a mayor. The thought of corruption, the thought of how easily I can be pulled away, accused of corruption, and hung or executed because, as everyone well knows and has been I've been let know personally by a couple of marshals firsthand, corruption ends up in death for political figures. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And that's the
If you're corrupt, you die.
and there
All
should be there
because you
should be
wanted to come and care. That's it.
absolutely there should be understanding for mistakes and good faith errors and things like that come along. It should not be immediately this off with their heads sort of mentality of somebody slips up, or help correct them, help guide them. Don't just incarcerate them or you know throw them under the wagon just because they've failed to interpret something properly. Like, help them through that. We need a system that enables them, not hinders them.
I'll be
Yeah, so
honest, this morning, when I was attending this meeting, which was initially meant to be just the Chief Justice and myself, and then martial law and myself, and I got there and there were 6 or 7 armed marshals. I thought I wasn't going to get out of there a free man, and I was just trying to do my job and protect a fella on the basis of his lack of health. That is my job. I'm a head doctor. I didn't think I was going to walk out of there accepting irons, and to be honest with you, I was shaking half the time I was in there.
there needs to be a differentiation on the different types of corruption. I think. You know,
That is an excellent point.
corrupt. Like I can be corrupt, and let's say I don't know, I'm bad with my taxes. You can't punish me in the same way that someone who's corrupt that's letting people kill people behind
And
the
there
scenes.
needs to be
Sort of.
recognition. There needs to be recognition of civil actions. The tradition of this country is that often there are civil actions taken when there's a breach of duty or an error made as far as the city is concerned, and those impose far less penalties than simply execution. I mean, we're not running a draconic system here, and we should not be.
And let's not forget intent in all of this. Is it the person's intent to criminally succeed somehow? There is a difference. Is his goal, is the person's goal in what they've done wrong to commit a crime knowingly, or is it just an oversight or a misunderstanding of what what their power entails? Intent should always play a role in that, but just the fear is very real. I resigned as a mayor the first time because two marshals pulled me aside and questioned me about my involvement with the Washingtons, and this had been months ago. But I was pulled aside and questioned and led to believe that
You might still be able to get in. I mean,
well, the words corruption
there's
were
not
mentioned,
like
and I'm going
30
to say it was
people
very
in here,
subtle,
obviously, so
but it was still there, and
sort
I
of
read
an
it very
impromptu
clearly
thing, so it's
in
not like
between the lines
an
of the
event or
conversation
anything. You
that was
might be able
had
to get
on
in.
2 separate occasions, and I finally decided it wasn't worth the risk for me or my family to to mm, to stay in that position because corruption means death for me if I'm the mayor. And then I came back, and I'm going to bring something up today that I have not brought up before, but I think you're all fully aware. I put my pin board bid up to run for governor because I understood it to be the last day for me to do this. That particular day, I did not want to run for governor, but I had talked to my friends in the law office, and we all shared concerns that the man would run, what would you say, uncontested for the office of governor over, our state, which I've put a lot of love and heart into.
Sorry, just trying to put this out.
And my pin board was removed,
There we go. Thank you.
and I was removed from the election process and told that I could not run. And when I asked why, I was told, well, that that date was incorrect. I was wrong in the date that I posted, but you still can't run, even though I understood what I read, and by what I did, I was correct according to what was written, that I had that day to run against this man, and my pin board was removed, and I was disallowed to take part in that election. And there are further things I'd like to say on that matter, but I'm going to stay away from it. But that, to me, is another level of corruption, also. Uh,
That poor chair.
Yeah, like your the wind's catching your voice.
Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
Gotta like hold up a second.
You sound a little bit like you're underwater. Just a. Rude. I mean, to yourself, but rude. Can I just say that is a very fun hat?
Don't get me wrong.
Talking to me?
Wrong. I'm all for penalties with corruption. I just think that there needs to be a differentiation of the different, because corruption can kick you in so many different types of ways. You can
And
be corrupt.
absolutely, and just take
I think that it
somebody.
should be more severe, for law enforcement and for government, but I don't think it depends. That's the thing. It really depends on the
Go have
scenario.
meth.
And,
Yeah,
and
like-
here's what I retort to that.
Shouldn't be
This-
blanketed over.
Here's what I retort to that is traditionally in our country, when somebody acts outside their powers and puts in place a law that they don't have the authority to put in place, that law is challenged in the courts under constitutionality, and it's up to the courts to decide in a civil action, whether or not that law goes through. And there's no criminal penalty for somebody putting together a law in good faith. Um, it just simply means that that law is struck down and is no longer valid. I mean, you don't immediately throw a man in irons just because you're unclear in your own instructions to him.
Depends what law, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, like I mean, I think a good way to like sort out things is just to have more than one person in like the big positions of power. Like have like
Absolutely. We have
three
a
judges, and then like if one of them's
But
acting
again,
out of control, then they can have like a vote and be like, no, this guy's not okay. 2-1, you're out, and then
we
get a
have
new judge.
but
150 years of history to look back on. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here.
Andy, you want to say something?
it's just another case of running before we walk. Why do we have these large governmental positions when we just need local positions right now to be filled?
Absolutely.
People are power hungry.
That's exactly it. And if the people who are power hungry are in power and there's nothing that we can do to remove their power, then what is the point?
And I agree with that. I agree that we do not need federal justice system. We have plenty of people who would probably want to take on a mantle of state justice or judge in state and whatnot. We don't need that powerful system that has such a easy way to get corrupted. I think states will be just fine. We have proven it in Lemoyne that we can do it, and I'm sure with the support of the people, New Hanover and the West Elizabeth can do it as well.
And once you've removed these draconic issues for quote unquote corruption, I mean, and you just start to distinguish between the different types of errors one can make in power, you likely could see a lot more participation in those state and local governments.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there, having been present in Lemoyne when the law was much more localized. Corruption was so much more easy to infiltrate, and I experienced it firsthand, just seeing how badly corrupt things could do because there was no one to oversee that state. Whereas if you have someone that's federal, that's not involved, isn't biased, and just going to see the facts for what they are, then that's
Well,
There-
that comes down to
well,
personality, not to the positions of themselves.
it's both personality and it's also the law. You have to implement a law that is evenly balanced, that provides for checks and balances. And what I'm saying here is we have 150 years of history to look back on and precedents to look on. We can format systems based off of the other 45 states in ways
Oh,
that work.
what I was saying, it was not what what I was trying to say was not. It's not that in my eyes it's a problem with the law, just a problem with the way it's being enforced and how it's being enforced.
Absolutely.
The law in itself, other than a few like things here and there, is pretty fine, at least in my opinion. But as seen in as when I was chief deputy in roads, it's very easy for things to get out of hand, get corrupt, and essentially there isn't anyone else to go to because your current law is extremely corrupt and your current
But also,
yeah, so
to my
I
knowledge,
would like. I'm sorry.
it is corruption in law is governmentally, enforced. I don't quite know how to say that, but
The
It's
marshals are the
it's
only ones
federally watched.
suspect to that.
To weed out the corruption in state of Lemoyne, you have to apply state checks and balances. I would invite you, Mr. Valentina, to see the new Lemoyne and how the law enforcement works there. We have checks and balances that Mr. Attorney General is going to watch over the chiefs of police, make sure they don't get corrupt. Chief of police will look at these deputies that they're not corrupt. We have all those checks and balances now in place so that corruption will never have take a root. And if it does, we will react quickly upon that. This includes not just law enforcement; it also includes the governor's office and myself with the Justice Department there as
And
well.
the thing about a great experiment like this that we're trying in Lemoyne is we have 150 years of experience to look back on and that we're basing this off of and that we learn from, but we're also going to learn from things as they go because we're going to be presented with situations that have not been dealt with before, and we will have to figure out how to deal with those and adapt to them. And I believe putting together a proper team with the appropriate checks and balances in place can help preempt issues where the populace are, um, crying for blood, so to speak. And it's a cooperation, and we remember first and foremost that the Constitution begins with the words "We the people," and that's a commitment to the people of our state.
I don't mean to be rude, but I'm a bit late to the party. Is there any chance you could just catch me up on it, please?
It's a lot to catch up.
There's a lot to catch up on.
And I agree with what you said, Hoffman, but corruption very rarely shows itself.
It mainly has to do with what's recently happened with calling for the removal of Judge Woods.
Everyone kept their mouths shut,
And it's sort of gone from there into
And that
governmental
that
practices.
responsibility falls to a higher
No,
level,
thank
and
you.
I think that's
Yeah,
what Andy
that's what
was
I meant.
trying to say, is that there needs to be things in place to protect that from happening in the first place. That shouldn't even be something that should be an issue, because that needs to be. I don't know how to say this either, but that there need to be things in place to protect that from happening at all in the first place, and that frankly is not the responsibility of.
And
I don't know how to
definition
say
of
it.
corruption really needs to be expanded. I mean, if at the current rate that we're going, it goes anywhere from applying a law that someone doesn't have authority to, not having minutely detailed books, to all the way up to, false testimony and that sort of thing. And I agree, the latter are clear cases of corruption. The former are errors, good faith errors that traditionally in the other 45 states are dealt with less severe reprimand, or even just sometimes a negation.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think people are defining corruption as essentially just going against the laws, which it's not really that. You wouldn't really call like a person who's like a murderer corrupt. He's just a criminal.
Right.
That's,
But somebody who murders somebody and then uses their position of power as a police chief or something to
oh yeah,
refuse any sort of
that's corruption. Yeah.
report, that's clear corruption. A police chief who hires somebody and after good faith effort to vet them and make sure that they're reliable, finds out later that this person is selling moonshine. Is that police chief responsible for that if he didn't know?
No.
That's not corruption. That's just an error made, and they should be given the opportunity to correct it once they realize it's going on.
Or sometimes you just get fired.
It's
But
just bad judge of character, really, isn't it?
but the other issue here is, if we even do recommend this, what about the marshals? What does that do to them? Because I care about these people. These are my friends. Valdez, Jackal, yeah, they are my friends. What does that do? What is a system like that? Where do they fit in and their jobs and what they do? How does, because that is a concern. We can't just sit here and say we only care about us, and or say that we care about the community, but we don't care about what the marshals do. Where do they fit into that system?
Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't see a need for marshals unless there's something really fucking bad going on. Like, if there's like daily gang wars and people are fucking dying in the streets every day, then yeah, you know what? Maybe we need, federal marshals to deal with these criminal. But like, other than that, I don't see a need to have marshals around all the time.
The
I
way I
agree.
see
There's
is
got to
that
be other states with other problems that require marshals too.
right. So the way I see that the marshal, being a marshal, is something maybe a calling for a person. For example, I've been part of the. I like being medic, right? But the way I treat and exercise my medical powers kind of is different from what a norm expected here. And I got this freedom to exercise my medical powers the way I wanted without any much resistance. Now I feel like if the marshal really likes to do his work and he wants to be a marshal, we should give them an opportunity to be a marshal and to do their work. But it should be under the certain uh, codes and checks and balances, and also so that they would not be tied to one person who may become a corrupt and use marshals as a tools of corruption. So I don't mind having a marshals around and working as a marshals, but there needs to be different system that they don't answer to only one person and one person only, who they right now kind of revere as a god or something like that.
I mean, I would.
I feel like there should be protections for marshals if they don't agree with something, if they find something unjust, to be able to, you know, speak up and be protected about it and not lose their jobs about it, you know?
Why don't you just have one marshal to each state?
That could be.
Yeah, but
Well,
then that's
That's
problematic.
just
let
like
me let me let me just pose you this thing outside. There's currently a gang of robbers in an armored wagon that's been robbing through Lemoyne, New Hanover, and now West Elizabeth. And this is a situation where you need the marshals because so far neither of our police departments have even been able to find them or get into some any sort of skirmish with them. These guys are good. So yeah, we do need marshals.
Well, neither have
you do need,
marshals
of course
because
you
the
need
issue
marshals.
persists.
It's not as if they'd never existed in the first place. Do you know what I mean? There's always been
Let
marshals.
me let me
Oh shit.
clarify a couple of matters that have come up just
Resist
recently.
what?
So first of all, the um, the marshals are traditionally appointed one per state, and then they deputize as needs their office befit. Um, in addition to that, there are court cases and precedents where officers are given protections both for denying an unlawful order in good faith and for following an unlawful order that they believe is lawful in good faith, and they should be protected in the line of duty. But there should also be systems in place where they are allowed to use their conscience and their understanding of the law through their training in order to hold their own superiors accountable in times of egregious circumstances.
I have an idea. How many people in this room used to be or is currently a marshal? Interesting. For those of you that are not and have no clue what goes on behind the scenes, respectfully, I invite you to come meet with me at Fort Wallace and I will deputize you and bring you along. I will let you do the paperwork. I will let you do everything that goes on behind the scenes. And I will let you see exactly what the Marshal Service has to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
what I'm trying to
questions
Nobody
say.
what
is
you do,
questioning that.
sir.
Yeah,
Nobody is
Yes,
questioning that.
yes.
Whoa.
Bruh.
That was an outrage, was that not?
Bruh.
I'm not saying anybody is questioning
God,
that.
You
I'm
still
saying
brought it up.
I'm inviting you to come and see exactly what happens behind the curtains.
This isn't
Now,
the issue,
now,
Jackal.
if
That's
you
not
don't
the
want to,
issue.
that's
I
fine.
believe,
That's fine.
and
If you don't want to see what happens behind the curtains, then don't turn up. I won't be offended. But the invitation's there.
I believe
When will
Marshal
you be at Fort
Jackal
Wallace?
is merely indicating that in order to truly speak on the duty of a marshal and how they operate and what
Yes.
they do, one must step in their shoes to get the full understanding.
Here,
I think
here.
that is fair.
That's
Here,
exactly
here.
what I'm saying.
I believe in that.
Nobody. They personally, I don't believe that Marsh is like. There's nothing what you do that's fine. My problem is when somebody who uses marshals as a tools of a corruption, you answer to the person who is untouchable by anyone. He can be corrupt as much as he wants, and he will use you as a marshals to spread his corruption, and nobody can stop it. And we can make a petition, but that petition didn't do anything. He got
There.
slapped on the wrist. You
Yeah,
understand that?
yes, and I do see
It's all
your
part of
point of
having
view,
that power in it. Money,
but
money talks.
yeah, I do see your point of view, and like I said, federal justice in this time are very powerful. However, there are plenty of checks, and who's to say there's not an investigation going on in the side. The thing that I think is important to understand is that de-escalation in situations like that are important, and turning the gun on the judge and getting more marshals called and having a Mexican standoff, that's not efficient for anybody. Um, so yes, I do see your point of view. I think all of us do. The manner by which that goes through is going to be important, and I think that's what this conversation should be turning to. But
I
again, if
think
it has been and I missed that, I
yeah,
apologize for
I
my
mean,
negligence.
I don't know. I'm gonna go back to like what I said. I feel like 90% of the time, the law in their state and like whoever that is, like for example, the sheriff of Valentine or whatever in like New Hanover should have his jurisdiction, and that should be him. But like if they need help because something's going out of control, then that's when you call in marshals to help when shit is out of control.
Yes, and that is exactly what's been going on. We stay at
Yeah.
Fort Wallace and we wait until we're telegraphed. The only times we're here is when we want to socialize, but we do not. Local PD has it. We will let them do their thing. We don't do anything until they request us. I
Yeah,
think
like
that's
I didn't
fair.
know that.
And anybody that's visited us at Fort Wallace can see how many people ride up there, how many wagons get put up. Say, Marshals, we need you for X, Y, and Z. And it's like, is a local PD there? Yes. Okay, go to your local PD first. Right. We've passed cases to your local PDs, and whether they act on them or not is a testament to that PD's leadership. But there are plenty of cases that we try to say, take this. This is yours. You have the power to do this. Do it. Ask Mamie. Mamie told me about robbers over at the Harlands the other day, and I said, Mamie, this is in your sheriff's department's jurisdiction. I will be here to help them. I will help organize them, but this is your lead. You need to take it because you have the power to do so. The Marshal Service, we're not going to overstep our bounds and impose and say, okay, the Marshal Service are taking over all of Valentine. This is what's going to happen because of robbers. That is incorrect. And I think it is unfair to say that we have not been trying to empower your sheriff's departments as much as possible.
Who
On
said
top
that?
of
I'm
that,
sorry, my salty chat broke.
it
Hold on.
is.
Sorry, I broke. Oh, that was bad. I
Yeah.
apologize.
You're fine.
I missed a point. I'm sorry. I missed what was said.
Pretty much, I said that somebody said that the Marshal Service should only be called in when we are requested, and I said that is what has been happening, right? When
Right.
you can
Right.
attest, we wait at Fort Wallace, people come up to us, we get telegrams, all that junk. We don't go out there until we're called, and when we're in town, it's always because we want to socialize, but we're here to socialize and observe. And if something happens in front of us, we're obligated to intervene, but we pass it off to local PD whenever possible. And you can attest that we've tried to empower the local PDs. Just yesterday, I helped you find recruits for your PDs. Me and Jack have been sending messages to all the sheriffs saying, hey, these are guys interested in being deputies. Please recruit them. Please recruit them. Take them. Lee McAllister, Clint Chesterfield. Who was the other one yesterday that came with the Fort Wallace? And we had told them we had to speak to X, Y, and Z. We organized a meeting for them. So we have been doing our best here to empower your local PDs. This is where you need to speak to your sheriffs and your chiefs and ask why you're not recruiting these individuals. Right.
There's a sense of helplessness that has gone around, and there's people don't want to do the job. For one thing, people are not getting paid. Pay is a motivation for some people, unfortunately. I know many of us, like Jackal and Valdez, I know you guys would do this for nothing. I know
We
you
have
would.
been.
But that
Yeah,
shouldn't
we haven't
happen,
gotten paid
which is
forever.
another problem. Okay, let's not even go there to that problem, because I realize you're happy to work for nothing, but people shouldn't have to work for nothing. And I think that's great. That's a badge of honor for you that you like to do that. Hell, I'd work for nothing too. You know that. But that's not the point. It shouldn't come to that. There is another fundamental problem right now that's causing a lot of frustration, is the helplessness that people feel because nobody knows, where do we go to fix this? And the people that you go to fix it, well, that would be up there to the top again, I believe, and here we are
Before
back again.
Hey?
Now, I want to just reiterate that the marshals are it always seems to circle back to this, and nobody's attacking the marshals. The system is broken. It is not working as it should work. How
I
are we going to fix it?
I agree, but
Sorry, I don't mean to circle back again on it, but just to address the point of having one marshal per state, that is pretty much what we have at the moment.
Yeah.
There are assigned marshals to each state. I am assigned to New Hanover. Valdez is not assigned to anything. He takes over the bounties across the 5 states. With the exception of the marshal command chain, there is a marshal assigned to each state.
Right, and that was a
Andy,
clarification to a statement before that.
Yes. I think
Andy,
it's
can we let Andy talk? She always tries, and then she'll just stop, and I want to hear
no,
what she
no,
has to say because
it's
she's a
all right.
smart lady.
Um, if in my personal opinion, and I've seen this work before, as hard as it can be, if the top will not help us economically, we have to help each other. That's the only way this is going to work. If there is nothing that can be done about things like that, those of us who, go through the grind of going and hunting, and if they get tired, asking others to, help, or those of us who do like hunting or do like farming, those of us who do have, better jobs, and helping those who don't have time or don't have, the means to support themselves in that way. We're just gonna have to help each other economically.
Can I just say something on the economically thing? I was not
Yeah.
aware that this was still a problem because the literal secretary of the treasury came down here and funded every department. I know I was present. So I'm not sure.
Well,
But
if that's
Then why did I
happened,
have a mayor of Rhodes come into my office yesterday and want to quit and come to work for me because he hasn't been paid yet?
It's because
Why
the
do I have
Because
no, no,
banks
I'm
Secretary
referring
of
to
are.
law enforcement.
Treasury.
I don't know what the mayors are,
Your
but the law
department.
enforcement has been paid, like
Yes,
all of them.
your department coffers are going to deplete depending on how active your your law. You know, your law is. If me and Jack will get $2,000 in the Marshall coffer and we're here, as much as we are, that's going to go by one day. And compared to Strawberry, who might have one or two. Hypothetically, you know, or I'll use Van Horn. You know, compared to Van Horn, who might still have their 2,000 because they have no deputies. You know,
No,
so
we did the math with the treasury. That's what I'm referring to.
okay, yes.
Like, and
Um,
that's why I was surprised that certain departments didn't ask for as much as they did, because I tried to pay my deputies as much as I can.
Okay, so some
I don't know about the
departments.
mayors. I don't know about the mayors.
Yes,
Let's see.
mayors and states and everything they do have ledgers. Basically, governor pays mayors and whatnot. Um, the problem was that when Treasury came to Saint Denis, they said they're going to be there next week again. So, for example, for Lemoyne, the governor set up everyone's paychecks for that week. Then we waited for next week and they didn't come. When they waited for second week, they didn't come. We have mayors unpaid. We have governors unpaid. I am unpaid. In fact, before even Treasury arrived to the state of Lemoyne, Governor and myself, we worked 7 weeks without any pay whatsoever, despite sending multiple letters to federal government that Mr. Governor at least deserves some kind of a pay. So now it's the third week starting. Treasury has not arrived. Not a single state official is paid in state of Lemoyne, and this will be the same with the mayors of Rhodes, mayors of Valentine, Blackwater, and Strawberry. Police departments will have their still coffers because they got pretty well paid, but the way you drain money is by the hours you work, right? The state and mayors and everything, they pay the one salary per week, and that's why right now almost all the states, all the mayors, all the governors are completely working without pay because Treasury has not arrived for now third week.
So I would like to inquire, is somebody taking note and writing down possible solutions for these, or we just spewing these out and hoping these are notified?
well, the thing is that as far as pay and stuff, to my understanding, there is things that in an ideal world would be possible, but because it's not an ideal world and that, you know, only certain people are granted access, certain trusted people are granted access to things like ledgers and things that pay people. And because there just wasn't, I don't really know how to say this, spiritual considerations in mind when creating that system, I don't think.
No, that's what I think is probably at the bottom, at the crux of all of this is the discontentment, the frustration. A lot of it has to do with that. You are putting complete responsibility for whether or not
An economy runs.
an economy runs on individuals who may or may not be in place.
No, I agree.
It can't work, and I've said it a million times, but it falls on deaf ears. It can't work. So I mean, there's a lot of problems, but what do we tackle first? What do we do first? Where do we go first? I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. I wish I did.
Yeah, I think theoretically there isn't an answer. Like,
Theoretically, I'd say go back to the system we had before, but that's somewhere that they are unwilling to go. That is much as abundantly clear.
It's one of those situations where like both systems are flawed, but the issue is in the previous system people had too much money, but in this system people either have money or you don't have money. But the thing is, if you don't have money, it's an extreme because that means you're sort of, and pardon my language, but you're sort of fucked.
It really depends because I spoke, I was in a cafe with the president like temporarily. Right now, like the economy is not like fixed because it is still inflating, and people say that it is hard to get money, but I know because when I came around, when I was not getting paid by the treasury, I was working my ass off. You can get around $1,000 a day in hunting, which is ridiculous.
But then you spend your whole day hunting and not.
Exactly, that's my point. You know, no one's in town because everyone is like spending their time outside there hunting. You know.
And
If
if
I
you-
could
and if
say
you're
the
not-
last thing before I have to go, I'm sorry, I'll try to keep it very short. I believe the problem this all the state-wise and everything, the main problem lies is that certain people take too much responsibilities that they cannot then handle that responsibility. This I'm going to give example realty. There's a very few handful people took so much responsibility that when the work became too much, the whole system collapsed. Now, I think the Treasury is the same thing. The responsibility was taken by two people who promised they're going to be there every week, but they then noticed it was too much work and the whole system once again collapsed. There's need to be some kind of a solution that not create these things
There
anymore.
needs to be delegation. That
Yes.
like if you literally build a system with let's say like 60, 70 people, you know,
Yay!
like
Thanks for subscribing.
you know, in all
Shorts.
districts.
Hey.
And two
Thank you.
people are solving it. That's good. You're literally shooting yourself if you do
Yeah,
that.
it is
Two
sort of a
people
heavy
can't solve that.
conversation. It's a lot of stuff.
Because the amount of like
It's perfectly
requests
fine. I
they
mean,
get
people can
is
walk
all
in and
70
out.
people.
It's kind of
Whether or
just.
not,
It was
let's
kind
say
of on the
you
fly.
take
It didn't
10,
happen
so
on
that's
purpose.
60 people will
It's stuff that needs to clearly be
real
discussed
estate.
because a lot of people
And
have a
that's
lot of
two
things to
people
say. So
doing 60 requests, but then they have to do each one fairly and justly, which means you have to spend a good half an hour on each one. That's way too much time.
Yeah, and to alleviate this, in my opinion, the old system of automation that everyone got automatically their checks is much better. It works much better because it doesn't rely on those people to take so much work on themselves that they cannot keep up with it. But I gotta go. Thank you for this meeting, guys, and
yeah,
good
thanks
luck.
for
Thanks
being
for
here
speaking
and
up. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And these delays, they're not the fault of any one individual necessarily. We're not trying to point fingers or anything like that, but they are costing people money. You know, we have properties that would have sold a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that
Yeah.
are now receiving recent notices of interest, and that will go to auction and cost people additional fees.
Yeah, and I
That
think
that.
Karen.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the main issue that we're getting as well is I don't know if it's correlated, but basically you'll get people that will be working, like actually doing the hunting and everything, and then you just have some people just go and rob them because that's the only way they can theoretically see of getting money.
yeah.
Well, and honestly, I have to be honest with y'all. I'm a city girl, and I'm not a very good hunter, and so for me to make money is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go panning for nuggets, but it's not lucrative. It takes time also, right? So
Yeah. Definitely narrows down the
Forgive my
the
language,
breadth of people.
but there should not be a what they call spiritually a meta in
Oh
regards
yeah,
to
I completely agree. Like there should
Right,
not be
right.
a job that it's a bit like, to be honest with you, the way hunting works, I love it, don't get me wrong, I love hunting, but that should be just one of many ways to earn money. It just seems
Yeah.
like hunting's the only way to make money, or good money, that
It's
is.
the only competitive way to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and honestly, I mean, I tried growing vegetables, and they're selling for less than what the seed is costing me. So
You're
it
losing money.
honestly, there aren't a lot of options out there.
Well,
Yeah.
it makes it so that certain areas as well. So I know for a fact I spoke to a hunter yesterday who basically he's been in county for I'd say about 3 days, and he's already got 10 grand just from hunting, and that's insane. Like
Yep.
like that's literally like he's got enough for anything he wants. Like and that's lucrative, and that's just from hunting. And I know, if you put the hours in, he's got the money, but the issue is it's hunting in the sense that, oh well, I'm only hunting whitetail deer. Whitetail deer is the only one nearby. There's obviously prong, but but you find the whitetail, and that's the only one that sells. You sell, I think one of them is like $13. Get a cart, you can get like 10.
Right.
Yeah, like you'll
Yeah,
get a
and
blacktail for like
and
$12 to $13, and you can get fit in 5 in a cart.
and the thing is that if you really like stop and think about it, like I'm just gonna put this into perspective. Let's take the word hunting like for a thing. People are just going out and butchering these animals, you know, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the population hasn't gone extinct.
Yeah,
that's
I was just
surprising.
thinking about that
That's
as
what I
well.
was gonna say.
If everyone is
Surprisingly,
hunting.
the meat and hides has remained consistent considering the supply.
Yeah.
I think
That's
it
what I was
just
gonna
there
say.
just needs to
Overhunting.
be there just needs to be. I know it's easier said than done, but there just needs to be more jobs. It needs to be more like leveled out in like
Right.
economically, because the thing
And
is, hunting is the only way to get. Because as silly as it sounds, but the thing is, hunting's just the only way for a lot of people, just
Yeah.
because it's the funnest. Like, because no one wants to sit and grow stuff, and sometimes it can be kind, but you want to do it with companions, talking.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're out there by yourself, if you're hunting, I think I've yesterday and the day before I've heard about 6 people come into town mentioning that they were in standoffs shooting each other because one person was coming over to their car. And that's Jesus Christ, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just
No, yeah, but
a civilian
issue,
thing,
Andromeda,
yeah.
you were trying to say something?
I think that all of these things that we talked about today should be, they're important, and they clearly, since we've been talking about them, clearly are on everyone's minds, and we need to be more vocal. I know that it's Mamie's job as mayor to represent us, but we have a voice as well, and we can make it more heard. And I feel like that's the sort of step we need to take, is to not have her just represent us, but to raise our own voices as well, and really let them know that everyone is noticing these things and everyone is talking about them, and something needs to happen.
But how?
It needs to be a
That therein lies another problem, but there is a forum that the government supposedly looks at for things like that, and maybe we could provide a direct avenue in order for people to get more access to that. But it's not. I didn't even know it existed until not too long ago, so it's not made the most I don't know, available to the local populace, but we can try and get everyone access to that. If
I need somebody else.
you're right,
I need somebody else to take over this. I can't do it.
Mamie, you're right.
I can't do this. I can't choose between my friends and causes anymore.
What?
I can't do it. I feel like there are things that need to be fought for, but I can't fucking do this anymore.
Mamie, you're not
alone.
alone.
Just consider all of that. All right. Thank you. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's happened? What is it?
Buck has fucking fired Jemma.
Why?
He's fired her for something that happened with this whole thing with the case with Grady, whatever it was. He fucking fired her. And I get telling, I'm getting, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't, fuck this, man. I'm just, the people I love and care about are fucking turning because they don't. I'm losing the people I care about over politics.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew the situation.
I don't know how to I can't. I'm having a hard time talking right now because I'm sick.
It's alright. No, you don't need to talk. It's alright. Buck and Jemma are very headstrong individuals, and I don't know what is this about. The marshals? What is this about? Is it about Grady? It's about Grady.
It's about Grady, I think. I don't know.
But didn't they have that pre-trial already? I mean, didn't they? They already had that discussion. Did something happen between Jemma and Buck? I don't. Did Jemma misuse a post? What did Jemma do to? I don't understand.
I honestly, I'd have to speak to Buck. I don't know. I've just gotten telegram.
Unless Jemma did
The
something.
telegram I got, just an FYI. Your good friend and trusted ally, Buck Grayson, has removed me as a doctor for breach of SOP and a conflict of interest because I dared question him during a meeting with the Chief Justice last night. Thought you should be aware. Have a lovely day. All right. All right. I need to. I don't know. What did Buck go to sleep?
Eliminating the market.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He left a while ago saying he
You
needs
know
to.
what? I just want to get the fuck out of here. I've had enough of this talk for right now.
All right.
It shook me.
We're not sure. I'm trying to figure out where that came from.
Yeah, like it's just gunfire and Molotovs. Like, what the fuck is wrong?
Where is it coming from? It's just somebody probably being an idiot.
Are you all right there, Miss Mamie?
You know what? I got two groups of people here telling me that that I'm being used. Okay, I got the marshals pissing on me because they say I'm being used by the other side. I got the other side looking at me telling me the marshals are using me. Who's not using me, by the way? Do I look like a fucking whore? I just want to know that. Do I look like a goddamn whore? Because I'm not,
Mamie.
and I'm fucking done with this shit right now.
Mamie. I believe you're a convicted woman who's trying to stand up for what you believe is right, and I don't think anybody's using you, frankly. I don't understand why the marshals would be using you, and I don't believe any of us are using you.
My friends
You've
believe
given
I'm
us a
being
voice.
used. My friends believe I'm being used. I'm losing my friends. I'm losing the people I care about because I just.
You're not losing them.
It looks like it to me.
I know, but you're not.
Where's my goddamn horse? Can we go find a train?
Yeah.
Andy?
Mhm.
What are you doing?
Sorry.
It's okay. You all right?
Yeah, I'm alright.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Sorry, what?
Did you hear me now? I said I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what we could do, if I could do anything, even where I would begin. It feels hopeless. And I'm losing people. I feel like I'm really losing people. I don't even, where did Buck even go?
Do you know if Riggs has a telegram?
Don't know. I imagine it does, but I'm not sure.
Just thinking about where the nearest one is. I guess we could go back to Valentine.
Where are we?
We're somewhere between Blackwater and Valentine.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. That's the native camp, by the way.
Huh.
I mean, I don't think all of this. I thought it was so important, and now that I see people just that I love and care about just like disappearing and showing disdain, telling me I'm being used, and I just think is it all worth it? Really, it's not. It's not. And I keep thinking that I can deal with it. I thought, fuck, I just wanted to finish what I started, you know? I wanted to make Valentine better, but everything is so complicated and broken. And I'm just losing my friends over it. One by one. I know you say I'm not, but I am.
You knew that neither of them would want you to feel that way. Not when they're all calmed down and not up in arms about things. You know that.
I don't know anymore.
I bet you if you have a conversation with each of them, they would say that.
I don't know.
Because their quarrel is with each other, not with you. They don't mean to hurt you. Friends do that sometimes too, you know. They quarrel.
Yeah, I suppose. I fucking suppose.
Evening?
You alright, Mamie?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I just fucked up my mailbox.
Oh, sorry, I'll stop talking
Oh
to you.
no, it was my fault.
Like that whole thing in the saloon, like I support it. Like
I can't.
yeah, you don't have to.
I'm sorry, Andy. I can't send the telegram because my fingers ain't working right.
Okay, it's alright, it's alright.
What were you? I'm sorry. I appreciate your support, and I know you guys do. I know you do, but I'm just fucking. I've got people that are just like they, you know.
I didn't understand much at the meeting, but there was this guy, Primrose's fiance.
Hoffman, yeah.
Yeah, we stumbled upon them at Emerald Station, I think, and he told us what happened with Eddie and everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was horrified because I am co-owner of the Inn in Strawberry, and Eddie stayed with us for several days with his family, and he is like the nicest guy. Like
Yeah.
he's like a grandpa you just want to hug. Like I can't even imagine
Yeah, I know, and I felt the
how.
same way about Eddie. It was just wrong all the way around. I mean, I don't know. And I think we just went again. Hello?
I
Hello?
can hear you.
Okay. No, and that's the whole thing is I know what kind of person Eddie was, and Woods was an asshole to me before, and I had talked to the Chief Justice back then about it as well. But it was just kind of like a shrug and you just shrug it
Brushed
off.
off a little bit. Or a
But
lot.
right now, what's happening that people don't understand is there are far greater things at play. So one group
Yeah.
believes that I'm being used, the other group believes I'm being used. And I've got friends on both sides of the fence. And I can't even
That's the worst part, like
I can't
standing.
even bring up all of the issues because they are so much greater than what anyone understands. And that's what sucks about the whole thing. That's what
Yep.
sucks about the
Yep.
whole thing is nobody will know the whole story. Nobody can know the whole story because I will be fucking deported quicker than shit if I share it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Did Buck?
I have not had anything yet.
I probably shouldn't have said that, huh? Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. That's the root of the problem, Andy. Really. Well, here I sit. What are you waiting for? You okay?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Just give me a second, alright?
All right.
Alright.
I guess it had something to do with that wagon.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
You're not acting like it's okay.
Sorry. No, I'm alright. Percy, rude.
Now you're just making an effort to sound all right. What the hell did you sound so weird for?
Nothing,
What is going
nothing.
on? Promise?
Promise. Oh, maybe I should turn my
I wish I was an asshole.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I wish I was an asshole who didn't give a fucking shit about anything because I just hate feeling things like this. I hate it. I sit here and tell Buck the other day, and I'm having a conversation how great it is to feel things, and then I guess it's all good and fun until you have to feel things that don't feel so good anymore.
You could just be like me.
How's that? You're nothing wrong with you. What do you mean?
How do you think that I stay so calm in so many different situations?
I don't know. Because you're Andy?
Yes, but I also have a lack of feeling things many, many times. There's not a lot of things that I feel very strongly about. And much less strongly enough about to react in any sort of, real manner. There are things, obviously. I'm still human, but not many. Because I've lost everything over and over again, and it makes it hard. And I hope you never become that, because being passionate about things is a rare quality. And
I'm a fucking idiot. I'm an idiot. It's not a rare quality. It's not a quality at all. It's really not. It sucks to be
Really?
here. It sucks. It sucks.
you may feel that way sometimes, but look at everyone who's behind you. Look at everyone who cares about you and will follow your lead into the depths of hell.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could go back in history and quote some people that followed some not so nice people into some not so nice places. And
Sorry. But you're not one of those not nice people.
What's wrong with Percy Saddle? I can't see.
It's my fault. I took off his saddle this morning because of something about a blanket. It's nothing, it's fine. Is it uncomfortable? Do I need to stop at
No,
somewhere?
I just wondered.
Oh, it's yeah.
Why are you like having half sentences and not saying?
Sorry, I just contrary to popular belief, I am not the greatest at dealing with emotional situations.
Sorry. And then you got me back here bawling in your ear all
No.
Probably dumped me off a cliff somewhere a long time.
No, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Mm.
You know, I always think I can handle this shit, I took it on again. I need to get thicker skin, I said to myself. I need just to have thick skin and realize that what I'm doing, I'm just trying to do the right thing. And then all the shit happens. And I'm like, fuck this. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
It's not easy.
I don't have thick skin. I keep wanting to.
I know, but thick skin also sometimes means that you can't care. And it's quite the trade-off. You either have to distance yourself from caring and emotions and passion and, things like that. And not care what people say and... It's not always a good thing. And people love you because you are who you are, and not for any other reason. Whether you have a thick skin or not. And yes, it is nice to have a thick skin when the storm blows and the tornadoes come and rip your house up, but you're trading in quite a bit to have that thick skin. Even though it's going to stop right here, but... Do you want to get on the train, or do you...
Yeah. I don't know. It's loud. Maybe we should just... It's fine.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. And of course you can't speak right now. If you want to get on, then get on. Alright, you good? Okay. Yeah, I know.
We heading to 1?
Just missed the train.
I did. Again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's go. I just need to write something real quick in my notes here, and if I just take us where you're going, babe, lead on. I'll follow you wherever. All right. Thanks for your patience with me.
Of course.
Thanks for being my friend all these years. Months, whatever they are.
Oh, it's been years, honey.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't been, it feels like it.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I just wish sometimes that I wasn't that restless person, that I could just settle for normalcy a little bit sometimes and be content with that. But every time I try that, I find myself missing it and lonely and empty, and I just can't sit still, you know? I just can't sit still.
I know. Can't change who you are, but you're not doing yourself any favours by not accepting it as well. I mean, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Depends on what's happening.
I think sometimes it just gets too much.
I know. It's just a matter of knowing, you know, when to take breaks, when to just take a step back and think about what's just happened, you know, or even to not think about something for a while until you've, you know, really had a chance to think about it.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that. That's the problem.
It is not easy, that's for sure.
No, it's not. I just know that I don't want to lose everybody that's important to me over fucking politics.
It's not even necessarily about... Oh, your voice is going.
I know you say that it's not about politics, but
I don't believe it is.
Can't really ruin things. But tell me how I'm not ruining things. And tell me how that this isn't affecting things, because it sure as fuck feels like it is.
We don't really know what it's about necessarily. We just know the end. We just know the end result at this point.
I've been saltied again. If you were talking, I can't hear you.
I just said that, you know, we don't really know what it is about right at this particular moment. She said SOPs, but it could be any number of SOPs. It may not necessarily be about politics directly.
No, but whatever the reason, I don't really care to lose my friends over it.
And like I said, I don't think you are.
I don't know.
Just because Jemma and Buck may have their differences does not mean that they are any less your friend. Now, if they choose to drop your friendship because of your friendship with another person, that's a very small thing to do, and I believe that they are both above that.
But you know how it is, Andy. You know what happens when you got two people that are at odds with each other.
I know, they want you to pick sides, and you just have to
end up losing. You end up losing because it fades away, because you can't be in the same room together with them anymore because of the tension and the heartache. And then eventually somebody just leaves, and then they're gone from your life, and they never come back. You know that as well as I do.
I know it can happen.
I don't want that.
It doesn't have to happen if you don't want it to. And as long as the other person doesn't want it to.
Yeah, but I'm not in control of all of that either.
No. You're only in control of you, ultimately. And you can only hope that, you know,
I hope you're right.
But you know that Jemma and Buck are more alike than they like to admit sometimes.
Yeah, I know, but you know what bugs me is, and what hurts the most is that, you know, that day in Valentine when Buck lost his shit?
Yeah.
I fucking stood there and held a gun to him because I thought he was going to hurt her, you know? And I mean, all of that feels like it's just. I mean, I chose a side then, you know? And I got shot for it, but I took a side and didn't want him to hurt her.
And Buck
I just
forgave you
feel
for
like,
that and understood.
Why is it so different? Why does this feel so different with politics? I mean, there it was life and death. You'd think it would be more, but this is over fucking politics.
You don't know that necessarily, because you haven't talked to Buck or Jemma about what happened. We don't know that it's about politics.
You're right. I gotta talk to him. You're right. Let's just forget about that right now. What do you want to do?
I'm going to fix Percy here in a second.
Oh, yeah, you might want to do that.
Mamie? Mamie?
Hey.
Ready?
Oh, sorry, Percy. Thanks again for being here.
Of course.
Again.
You know, one of the things that helps me, you know, the stepping back is definitely something that I've learned over the years. Hello?
Son of a bitch. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Sorry.
Mamie is having some voice troubles, but voice and ear trouble, obviously. But I'll
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for about 5 fucking minutes, probably.
Well, then we best talk quick. What can I do for you?
What the fuck happened with Jemma, Buck?
What are you referring to exactly?
Why did you fire her?
Because she said one of our patients was a lying piece of shit and backed Marshall Payton when he said this patient should be put down like a rabid dog. She's also a marshal now, so is not capable of fulfilling the role of lead doctor. And under the SOPs, there was a number of breaches. Termination was, I would say, more than appropriate.
And not at all personal, huh?
You know what my personal issue with her is, Mamie?
What?
She came here, got a second chance. I was happy for her to be a senior doctor at your request. I promoted her to lead doctor. and I'm hearing that she's present while someone's getting tortured and not having an issue with it. That's my
Who
personal
was she
issue.
present? Who was she present for getting tortured? Did you
Kevin
ask her about it?
Washington.
She was not present there any more than I was.
Melina got treated by her.
We walked away. We didn't have a choice, Buck. She didn't have a choice. She was as disgusted by that as I was.
Fair enough. Well, I found out that after I made that call, but do you want a copy of the telegram I sent her? For why? Because I feel it was reasonably justified.
Sorry to interrupt, but does anyone have water?
Yeah.
Yes, I do have plenty. I picked up some before I left. Hold on.
I probably should have stocked up.
Actually, I somehow cannot access my.
I got it.
I'm completely broken at this point. That's nifty.
Well,
look, you know how I feel. Everybody who comes here. No wait.
Oh, nap time.
All right.
I need to nap. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep him entertained in the meantime. So how about that second date?
I mean, we had this time.
Oh my god. You really, I don't know why you're obsessed with my hat.
Because it was the thing at funeral when we got Bruce.
Yeah, alright.
That's why.
I've got a million left over from that, so I'll never be remiss for this hat. They all threw them at me in disgust. No, this hat looks great on everyone. What do you...
Oh, you say that, but it makes me look like the top of my head is incredibly tiny and the rest of my head is huge. So.
Yeah, well.
It's not a good.
Well,
I think it's a little bit rich, to be honest. Maybe saying, is that your, personal issue with her? Well, she calls me family and puts on the pin board that she's gonna have the marshals hold me responsible for protesting that a man was about to be hanged unlawfully. I mean, I get it. She's a mayor, she's got stuff like that, but...
She was also trying to do something different and she didn't want to hurt her own cause.
She asked me to walk away and I did immediately. She didn't then have to stab me in the back. That's what it feels like. I know it's not what she intended. It just... I'll admit I'm a little hurt over it.
Alright.
Am I being unreasonable there? I don't know. It's been a very emotionally charged day for me.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people. But I'm not saying, I mean, I can't tell you that you're feeling incorrectly because it's not how feelings work, but...
No, but is it reasonable?
Okay. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you and I could hear some other...
I've been transported into you. Yep, yeah, I hear you. I don't see you, but
When did you...
Nate Black.
When did you get to my house?
He just rode up.
Shady Bell, yes, sir.
He just rode up on his horse. I saw him. You didn't see him?
Dead locals, and I was about to ask you people, have you seen it?
Dead locals?
Trailer dead locals?
Yes, I seen a couple of dead locals on the streets, and I was checking out every house, asking people.
I just got here a few minutes ago, and I didn't see any of that.
No dead locals here. I ain't seen any locals here. Dead or otherwise.
No, I mean, did you see anything suspicious? I'm not saying you did anything.
No.
I didn't even see the locals.
I've been sitting here on my porch smoking until Eddie got here, and I'm confused as to what just happened. It was the middle of the night, and then there was a burst of daylight, and now I'm here on my own and hearing your voices, and I'm a little freaked out.
And I'm right next to you. It's like so funny. I can't even.
Oh, is that right?
You, but, it's been doing that a lot lately.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, because I can't get back in.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that puts a
Well,
damper on the role play, doesn't
howdy.
it?
Good to meet you, Mr. Nate Black. I'm sorry
my
I can't
goodness.
see you
You're
face to
you're
face,
buff.
but
You're buff.
yes,
It's
sir.
nice to not
Buff.
see you, Mr. Nate
We
Black.
know each other, man.
Yeah, yeah,
We haven't met
It's
each other.
nice to what?
We know
yeah,
each other.
yeah, yeah. No, you're
Oh,
right.
he
I'm sorry.
is.
I'm real tired. It's nearly 7
Oh,
a.m.
wish I
local
could say
stars.
hi,
I
but
haven't been up
I'm
Oh
for
man.
stuck in the
a long time.
infinity screen
Well,
of
yeah,
death.
don't want to bother you. You know, but
No, no, you're
once
I
somebody
don't know.
attacked me from your house, they start
What are
shooting me
you
at the road.
hearing?
Not recently, but like a
What do
month
you
ago or 2 months ago.
What are you hearing?
Was it the Lemoyne
What
Raiders?
does it
Because we
sound
have been
like?
chased out of
Do
here
you
by
all
armed folks
do
more.
you all hear that?
No, it was
What
the
does it
pigmen.
sound like?
There was two guys who had
Do
pig
you
masks. They used to work
Buck?
around here.
What
Describe it.
do I
Oh my
hear?
God!
Sorry,
I need
Andy.
to.
What do I hear?
Just
Uh
like what?
What am I meant to be hearing?
I I uh I
Would you
don't know what I'm
complete a
hearing.
sentence? You're making me crazy here. What's going
What
on?
is it? Daytime or
Are you
nighttime for y'all
streaming?
where you are?
Nah, it's nighttime. Is it daytime for you?
It is
Oh,
daytime for
stream. Hold
me.
on, so I can hear.
Oh my god. I'm
Am
here
I going
alone.
crazy?
I don't know what the hell's going on. Let me check this.
What in the hell is going on, Andy? What are you hearing?
What like
Are you talking about the music?
All right, look, doctor.
Yeah.
Andy?
I'm gonna head on out. If you guys haven't seen anything
The,
strange, I
it's
appreciate.
not your music?
I mean,
Yeah.
aside from the weird
Pardon me.
daylight thing,
Yeah.
nothing strange.
Yeah.
Are you sure you
I'll
don't
just
have?
let
Are
you
you
know,
sure you
since
don't
I'm
have
a
it
police
somewhere? Is
officer
it
in St.
somewhere?
Denis, and
Because
I'm
I hear it.
practically just patrolling around the whole state myself. So I check up here every once in a while.
Look in your
Okay.
TS
Well,
and
I'll
look
be
if
on
if
the
the
my.
mic
folks
is
here don't
open. It's
shoot at you,
probably
it's
somebody in
probably
there
us.
fucking blasting
Oh
something.
no.
I'm
Yeah.
totally stuck.
It's
I can't go
I
back.
hope you don't mind. We don't trespass into your house or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
No,
you know,
no,
I just
no.
want to let
I
you know.
honestly, I appreciate it. We've had more than one armed gang forces out of here before, so
yeah, that's weird. I need to. I'm gonna have to.
All right, you take care, doctor. I'll see you around.
Yeah,
Take care.
you as well.
I'm sorry. I'm trying
This
to.
whole
Yeah,
thing's
Take care.
pictures
Shadyville's
itself.
fucking
Yeah, you
scary.
too.
I was out there by myself too. That place is just
Andy,
creepy.
what exactly
One
you
day I
hearing?
was out there by myself. I did not like it. I can't get back in, so yeah, try this one more time.
I don't know what I'm hearing.
Don't be scared. I'm coming, Andy. I'm coming. But we probably need to relog, don't you? If you're instanced.
I mean, talking whispers, demons, music, screaming.
Music.
I hear
Music.
it. I
Okay,
heard
what
it. I
kind of
definitely
music?
heard it. It's weird music too. It's creepy music.
It's
Somebody's trolling you.
weird music.
You're being trolled, bitch.
Can you be a little more descriptive?
Sorry.
Like gongs and drums and
Yeah, I
and
heard it. I heard it.
I don't know.
You taking peyote?
No, not on drugs. I may need to take a nap though.
You might.
You
I might need to take a nap too. It is
I-
daytime here, like blindingly bright.
Daytime. It's not for me.
I had a massive burst of white light, and I got here, and y'all disappeared. It's like the rapture happened, and I've been left behind. I don't.
But I can still hear you. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm just gonna do that.
I'm gonna take a nap as well.
Do the county
This
shuffle
realm
while you're
has weird
taking a nap.
music.
Do the county shuffle while you're taking a nap, Andy. It was a situation very similar to this where you did the riverboat interior activated. What? Say what? I don't know. I don't know, but if I end up in a riverboat, I'm going to be completely weirded out. If I'm in the riverboat, I'm going to shit myself. I'm not. Okay, I'm here. Oh. Because it said riverboat activated. I don't fucking know. Fucking game. It's really pissing me off, man. Well, I heard whispers in my head the other day when I'm standing there with Jemma. I still don't know where they fucking came from. Yeah, but this kind of shit will freak you the fuck out. Let me tell you what, I still don't know where it came from yet. Probably Dyak fucking with me or something. I don't know. I need to like take that clip and try to get. Yes, somebody is holding things up in the infinite load. That's what's happening, definitely. It's like if you're in there this long, like right now, I'm probably not going to get through it because. Yes. 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 That's exactly how you do it. I'm checking F8. I'm definitely in infinite loading, so I'm going to back out of the screen, try this to fuck again. Fuck you, game.
I mean, it shouldn't be. I don't have that on. There's not usually any
Look,
music.
do you really think there's any logic to any of this shit at all? No. No. Going crazy? You are crazy. What do you mean going crazy, baby? We're already there. We talked to a box. But you're in the box. Person in the box. Guess what I am? I'm a Jackie in the box. That's right. That's right. Corner bad. It was a bad fun. Okay, let's see. Is it working? Is it working? Is it working? I remember this one time when I was in San Antonio, Texas, and I was in the military service. And we was out for a heavy night of drinking. And we decided we was going to rent a room at the Marriott Hotel. And if you ever been inside of one of these hotels before, it gets very complicated because they got elevators that go like, this one goes to the 4th floor and that one goes from the 4th to the 8th floor. Well, I was pretty fucking drunk and I got lost on the elevators for about 2 hours. That's right. It was a labyrinth of elevators. And I was paranoid because I'd been, smoking a little something too. But we ain't talking about that because you're not supposed to talk about those things. And I thought everybody was looking at me, so I kept trying to get in one elevator to go to one place. And all I wanted to do was get outside. It was most definitely not a dream. It was the worst night of my life. It was the worst party night. And I'm fucking infinite loading in the second loading screen. Oh, no, I got in, but I got salty chat. Or maybe I didn't get in and I'm just salty chatted in the infinite loading screen. Oh, that's what it was. Well, that's a new one. Now that's a new one. I am. Oh, I just. Fuck. Why? Mom, why? Hey, is this one of these times that I can tell that story about that one time, Andy? When you called me? Okay. Okay, so guys, get this. This is the best story ever. Okay, so I'm laying in my little recliner and I'm kind of chilling and I'm holding up the queue. I'm just getting stuck. I can't. I'm stuck in this thing. I don't know what to do. Okay, so okay, I'm just gonna let it go. Fuck it. Okay, so So I'm laying on my recliner, and it's the middle of the night, and I've got my iPad out, which I keep next to me. So sometimes if my friends call me on Discord, I can hear it, and I'll wake up and I'll answer it in the middle of the fucking night. But Andy never does this shit, right? So I'm I'm sitting in my I'm sitting in my recliner just sleeping away, enjoying my little sleep. And all of a sudden I hear the goddamn thing go off, and I pick it up. It's Andy. I'm like, oh my God, there must be something wrong. She's calling me, and she's like, hello? And I'm like, Andy? Yeah? Andy, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, you can try. So let's see. So I'm like, Andy, are you okay? Because you're kind of worrying me right now. Something wrong? Um, well, my mom and my sister are here, and they're just making me talk about things that I don't want to talk about right now. And I'm like looking at the clock, and I'm like, what is she fucking talking about? Her voice sounded completely different than she normally sounds. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, is she drunk? So I asked her, I said, Andy, have you been drinking? And she's like, I don't even think I got a definitive answer to that question, really, because she just kept talking. I said, are you home alone? And no, I think I think my mom's still here. Just a minute. And then all of a sudden I hear this. This is the best part. All of a sudden, you can't even fucking get it out, man. All of a sudden she goes, Mom? I'm gonna wet myself just thinking about it. So I'm like, fuck. And then I realized, oh my God, she's totally sleep called me. And that's when you woke up. Oh. And I was really worried. I was really worried because I thought that she was really like having a serious like medical issue or something. The nurse in me totally broke out. I mean, just totally broke out. It was horrible. It was fucking hilarious when I realized she was okay, though. Oh, shit. That was the funniest shit ever. Oh. Oh. The best part, though, the best part was like, I was like really worried about her. So I was hoping her family was actually there with her. So I'm like, is your mom there with you? I think so. And then the best part was, Mom? She just fucking. Oh, I did. I thought I had it recorded too, but no, unfortunately. No, I didn't expect it either. That was the funniest shit ever, though. Reminds me of this one time though that I mean, they have these sleeping pills. Obviously, I'm an old lady, so I
I
have
have,
issues
yeah.
sleeping sometimes. So I have these sleeping pills. And one time, if you're not laying in bed with these things, you can do some really weird shit. It's so you should lesson just to all of you out there, whoever takes sleeping pills, make sure you're laying in bed when you take them. Believe me, you do not want to end up with. So anyway,
Yeah.
I literally took some sleeping pills one night. I got up. Well, I was up. I made the mistake of not going completely to bed. Walked down to the local grocery store, which is like a gas station grocery store. Bought a 6 pack of beer, a pack of cigarettes, and a pack of donuts. And the only reason I say donuts is because I don't think you know what mazarin is if you're not from Sweden. But we'll just say donuts, the little sweet things, cakes. But anyway, don't remember a bit of it. Drank a 6 pack of beer, had a whole pack of smokes, and a pack of donuts, and I'd have no recollection of it whatsoever. Yeah, don't. Yeah, no, you don't. Those things. This is just not working. There's literally nothing happening here. Is anybody getting in at all at this point? Is it? It's just gone, gone. Well, that is our Pius interruptus. That sucks. Oh, whose voice did I just hear? I just totally heard somebody else's voice. Am I hearing? Is TeamSpeak like wide open now? Hmm. Because I just swear I just heard Kate Lethal laugh. Oh, that I had that once too. That was horrible. It's probably the closest thing that how it must feel to be schizophrenic to have all of those. Yeah. 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 Ugh. So, who's Money Man? Who's your character? You little incognito peoples. I'm trying to keep everybody straight, but who's Money Man? Who's your character? If this doesn't work, we'll find some funny shit to look at or something. Actually, we can go through some old clips. You can go through some old clips or something. You have to leave? Oh no. Oh, I probably should go to bed anyway. You're Yeah, yeah, I wanted to too, but I guess. Sorry about that. Am I infinite loading? Oh, of course. Nope, 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 nope. At least we'll get past this screen. Where you're in where? ANW? Is that like the root beer place? Hardy har har. Oh, we like talking. Scrappy said, if it's any consolation, I'm glad this shit is happening and you have Andy here. It's great hearing you two talk. Okay, first screen. See if we make it through the second screen. Got it. Nope. Here comes. Oh no, no! It's the infinite load numbers. That 229 forever is ingrained in my memory. Is the number I hate from now on. Yes, yes, I have. I have heard the rumors. Indeed. Yeah, no, it's gonna just sit here in infinite load for me at the second screen. You motherfucker. It's definitely just gonna be a bitch today. It's probably telling me to go to bed. I keep getting this network get an entity from network, no object by ID thing. Is anybody else seeing that shit? It scares me a little. It makes me think I don't exist. Means I don't exist. Oh, let's see. Over what? Over what? Have it where? Well, isn't that what we're doing? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could do that, but I, I don't know. I really wanted to. It just feels so weird to do it just without, I don't know. I mean, I suppose we could do that. Yeah, bring him in. Bring him in. Let's do it. Just a minute. I got to get on the waterworks again. Ah.
Is this in character or out of character? Technically. Sorry, technically, I didn't hear the word after that. Okay. I'll have to get my accent on. Yeah. Howdy. Here's Drill. Look at that hat. Damn, what a fine hat. It's all red, angular, sharp. That's a damn fine hat.
Hello? 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 Yeah. What? Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't here to hear that. So, where is it? I see it. I see it. There I am. Yes. Mom? Okay, I'm trying to get RP face, RP face, RP face, RP face. Buck! Oh, okay. Immersion break. Come on. No. Pickles is a Grady thing. Pickles is not a Buck thing. Pickles is a Grady thing. Pickles, pickles. Uh, I went up. I went up to Strawberry and met the owners up there. They seem pretty nice. I thought you were talking about the place. Why does Skip have a possum? There is seriously something in the water at that place. I feel if we hang out there too long, we're going to have really strange ideas about things. I don't know. I don't know. I know that Woody. Oh! I
Beg your
know that.
pardon.
Oh!
Howdy. Howdy. Sorry. Do y'all need a minute? I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. We were talking about all your eclectic little pets that you have started to collect around here. You know,
That
alligators
issue.
and possums
Oh,
and
yeah.
all. No, I didn't
Yeah.
say it was an issue. So I
Oh,
just I want to understand why. Uh, I feel like this is a little bit personal between you,
it's
and
getting
it's
that way, but it was not that way before this morning. Do you remember when you first hired Gemma here?
who me?
Yeah, and you was on the porch in Valentine. I walked up and he said, and you're a little apprehensive, and he said, "Buck, I've hired her on as a doctor here. I want to be the senior doctor in town." And I said, "Brilliant. I will affirm that. I will give you the doctor powers right now." Do you remember that?
For me or for Gemma?
For her, when you hired her on, you're mayor. You hired on because you wanted her to be your doctor in Valentine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
didn't.
vaguely recall that. I don't. It's
Do
hard
you
for me, but
remember? I did not reference anything that happened. I just said, "You're welcome here. I ain't got no issue with you because, in my opinion, everyone who comes here gets a second chance." I mean, I did. Why not you? You want to know why I fired her?
I
And don't worry about that thing about Fort Wallace torture. If you say that she wasn't there, I take your word for it.
I mean, she
I
was
found
there
it out.
with me, but we had to treat people. There were people down, and she was against it as much as
Understood.
I was. I remember that.
Understood. I got told that after I had fired her. You want to know why I fired her? Real simple.
Why?
Because in front of a federal judge, when a patient's life was on the line, when she had not once, not ever, done a psych eval of him, when I've done over a dozen across several weeks, including in the days before the alleged offenses, she accused him not only of lying, she used her position as a doctor to give that weight when she had no evidence. She called him a lying piece of shit in support of Peyton Law, saying he should be put down like a rabid dog. Unlawfully killing a man who is not guilty because he is not capable of forming the intention. I mean, he walks around in the clothes of men who died 18 years ago. He thinks he's met God. He puts snapping turtles in my bed every couple of days because he regresses to childlike states. I see him breaking down crying. You telling me that she acted in the best interest of the patient and in defense of the paramount duty of preservation of life? I would have fired you for that. I would have fired William for that. I would have stepped down and been goddamn ashamed of myself if I had done it. I fired her because she was way out of line there. And it's not about disrespecting me. She endangered the life of a goddamn patient who needs help. That's why I fired her, and I would do it again.
But the perception, Buck, you got to
I
understand.
don't give a shit. When did you start doubting that I'd try and do the right thing, Mamie? When did that become a thing? When did you decide to put on the pinboard, hey, I'm going to hold Buck accountable? Hey, I'm not
I didn't
promoting
say anything about
Massachusetts.
holding Buck accountable. You
The,
you came in. I'm trying to fucking get a judge out of his seat, a judge who is morally reprehensible, Buck.
A judge who she
You
said
walked.
this in front of and put a patient's life on the line, and suddenly that's okay? Come on.
This is before. This is your. Wait a minute. Now back up here a little bit. I don't understand what's happening here. You don't
Nor do
understand.
I.
I started something yesterday.
Yes,
I
you did.
started something about a judge. You walked in front of an event that I started, and people got so confused about what I was doing that they didn't even know what I was doing anymore. They didn't know
You
what they
asked
were
me to
signing.
leave, and I did immediately. You asked me
By
to
then,
leave, and I
by
did
then,
immediately.
yes, you did. I don't know, Buck. I don't know what's right and wrong anymore. I have different opinions today than I did when I woke up yesterday. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. I don't, my experience with Grady has been very limited. But I also know that, in our world, we are subject to who's around us. The influences of who's around us. We trust the
You're
people that
thinking
are
I'm
around us.
using my position to protect someone who is guilty of murder, who is actually
No,
sane?
no, I do
Is
not.
that what you're saying?
No,
Because
no. Of course I
I'm
wouldn't say
trying to
that.
do my best here. That's all.
I never
That's
said
all.
you weren't. I never said you weren't, but you're tearing me apart. And neither one of you seems to
Why?
give a
Because I'm
shit. You
firing
nor Gemma.
someone?
You know what, Gemma?
Defend that conduct, please. Tell me how you would have said that's okay. Because I just can't see it.
Gemma gets angry, but
Yeah,
she's got a warm heart, and she's had my back for a lot of
she
years,
put
just like
a
you, just
patient's
like you.
life at risk in front of a federal judge,
How did she put his life at risk? And how did she put
saying
his
that
life
he's
at risk?
lying about being insane and that he should be put down like a rabid dog if he is, in front of
I
a
don't think.
federal judge who was
Did she
in a
physically
pretrial
say those
meeting to
words?
discuss it. She literally said those words, a lying piece of shit.
Put down like a rabid dog?
That was Payton, and she was saying that in support of it. Defend that for me, because I just can't see how somebody can be a doctor and feel that way about a patient they have never even evaluated.
Maybe life circumstances, maybe what they've been through, maybe the experiences they've had. She's working with the marshals, Buck. The shit they
Yeah,
see
she's
on
working with the
news.
marshals, and it's a conflict of interest because they're trying to hang him. The right to life, the preservation of life, that's what we do. You told me that when I lost my way. And now suddenly, when I'm trying to do the right thing to protect somebody, it's not okay. I'm just confused, Mamie. I don't understand why I'm tearing you apart when I'm risking my life here, my job, everything I've built here, a department, to protect somebody who needs protected against the power that is being abused. I don't get why that is somehow wrong of me.
You know
I'm
what?
sorry I upset your event. I didn't mean to.
Upset my event. That's not what it was fucking about. That's not what it was about. It confused it. And everything I
I'm
was
sorry
trying
I
to do
confused it.
in 1 minute was destroyed because nobody knew what they were up against anymore. It's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. I'm so done with it all. I'm done with it all. I'm losing my friends. I'm losing the people I call my family over stupid nonsense, bullshit, and opinions because that's what this all comes down to. Your
No, it
opinions, her
doesn't.
opinions, medical expertise. Are you a psychiatrist, Buck? Are you? What makes you
No.
so sure? What
Because
is it
I
that
have
makes you
seen
so
this
sure?
man for weeks. He talks to snapping turtles when no one is around for hours. He wears clothes from men who died 18 years ago. He can hear them speaking to him. He talks in his sleep. He has not terrors, paranoia. He thinks he's met God. This was before the alleged offense. What does he stand to gain by acting crazy before the alleged offense? I don't understand how you feel like this is just opinion versus opinion when someone's life is on the line. I mean, come on.
It's not. It's
Look, I'm sorry that Jemma is upset, and I'm sorry that she is upset with you if she is. I'm even sorry that she's upset with me, but it made me sick that she was willing to say that about someone who needed help. It made me feel genuinely to the bottom of my stomach sick. Where's the empathy? Where's the respect for patient? Where's the preservation of life? Now, sure, she brought up, yeah, I did shoot people in Valentine. She's right. I didn't bring up that she was sleeping with a member of a gang who murdered and tortured people and was wearing their colors. I could have. But I didn't. Because I didn't want to interfere with her job as a marshal. That's her job. She takes it seriously, fair enough, but there is a conflict of interest between her being a marshal and a doctor of the department that is trying to defend that patient's right to life because he is not culpable on grounds of insanity. And no, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm a pretty damn good doctor. I do my research. I have been evaluating this patient for weeks. I've got over a dozen reports from the time. I can provide them to you if he gives me permission.
Over
And
one
she
guy.
had not even.
Over one guy. That woman has served me. She saved my ass and saved my hide in Valentine when there was nobody else around. She has been the only consistency for me in that town since I came there. And she walks in and she makes one goddamn mistake, and to you, it's the
This is
end
not a
all be all.
mistake. This is not a mistake. This is saying somebody deserves to die for something they can't control. That's not a mistake. That is a fundamental lack of empathy. That is a problem.
All right. I see. I hear what you're saying. I don't know what to do.
She still has her doctor powers as a private practitioner. Doesn't really make a difference. It's just in principle I cannot have somebody who is willing to do that to a patient who can't defend himself as part of my department. She's still a doctor. She can still work in Valentine. She can be the combat medic for the marshals or whatever the hell she is. But if you are at a point where you think this is some personal vendetta I have against her, or you think
I remember Buck.
Fair.
Way back when, having to try to talk you out of shooting her.
I understand.
And taking a bullet and watching you shoot her anyway. You know, why wouldn't I question this? Why wouldn't
Because
I?
of everything that has happened since. Everything that's happened since. I supported her when you wanted her on. I hired her. I promoted her.
I get it.
I gave
I
her
get it.
powers of recommendation for doctors.
You know what? I've lost her. I've lost her to the marshals. You know, these
You
guys.
and me both, darling.
These guys are so hell bent on being sure that they are right about everything. They are fucking right about everything, and I didn't see it because I cared about them, and I do care about them still. But you know, the more this goes on, the more I realize we're all getting lied to the point to where there's so much misery going around that we're blaming each other, we're pissing on each other, we're taking a. I mean, this is how fucking. This is how wars break out.
Yeah.
And this is how we are
And you
forced
know
to
what?
choose sides.
Sometimes they need to.
I don't want a war. I will never. I
Me
will
neither.
never. I will never. I will never. I will never
What
pick
if
up
they're
the gun
hanging
against another
people
human.
unjustly, Mamie? In contravention of the Constitution of the United States.
I ain't what if in this. I ain't what if in this right now.
This is
I'm
not a
telling.
what if. This is what was on the table today. If I had not gone in there and fought for hours, they'd have hanged Grady today. For something he can't help.
What happens to him now?
He's in medical custodial care for an indefinite period, possibly life. He can't carry guns outside of Shady Belle. He can't leave Shady Belle without a doctor supervising him. His job is stripped of him. A lot of his freedoms are curtailed. And you know what? I'm this close to saying, Grady, I'm going to take you to an institution somewhere out of this state, and I'm going to come with you, and I'm going to care for you out there because they nearly hanged someone when it is not the marshal's call.
But they didn't. But they didn't.
And you want to talk about people pissing on each other? She wrote down and said in big notes about me talking sanctimonious. She called him a lying son of a bitch. She doubted the fact that I had been treating him appropriately, said, "Oh, well, your medical opinion isn't sufficient," when she had never treated him. She said, "Oh, you shot 5 people in Valentine." I didn't bring up any of her personal history. I did not say a goddamn rude word to her. And for hours, I put up with this. So yeah, it is getting a little personal. But the thing that made me sick and the thing I fired her over was for putting a patient's life on the line because she is fucking a marshal. Because she decided that's more important. That's what made me sick. You don't get to play favorites when somebody who can't defend themselves has their life on the line. You don't get to. Not as a doctor. Not in my department. Not ever. Not, doesn't matter who you are. I'm sorry that it's hurting your friendship with her. I really am. I don't want you losing friends over my decisions. And every decision I've had to make since becoming a head doctor has been really fucking difficult. But it comes down to empathy and protection of life. That's why I shot Sweets and his gang. Because protection of life was not happening. Marshals were doing nothing. Sheriff got himself shot and his eye removed in broad daylight in Valentine, and the law walked away again. I'm not going to pretend I'm perfect. I fuck up. I get very emotional. And I do things that I probably shouldn't. Whether that's walking into Blackwater, or pulling a gun on Sweets, or hell, maybe even defending Grady. But, you know what? Everything. You can look back at all the things I've done, and you'll see it has always been about protecting people who can't protect themselves or won't, and the law not stepping in. Every single time. So I don't know what to tell you aside from I'm sorry it's hurting your personal relationships, and I'm sorry I confused your event. Neither of those were my intention. If you don't trust me anymore, if you don't want to back me up on what I'm feeling, I understand. I'm sad. I feel a little hurt. I feel a little betrayed, but it's not meant to be a personal attack on anyone. It's not what it's about for me.
Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Still need to talk to Jemma, but thank you for sharing. I wasn't sure what it was about, but I
just wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
I'm sorry that somewhere along the way I seem to have lost your trust on this kind of thing. I don't know why, and
It ain't got nothing to do with trust. It ain't got nothing to do with trust.
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
You came up and you said
I don't. It's because I want everything in my stupid little ideal world to be perfect. You know, I just want these things to not exist. I want there to be some other explanation, that nobody makes mistakes, that we've just misheard or misunderstood. It's not about mistrust. It's about a stupid fucking hope.
Hey, sweetheart.
I just can't do this anymore.
Look at me. You ain't stupid. You love people. That's why I hurt so much, because you care so much and you just want it to work out good, and I get it. I do. And I'm sorry that it ain't this time. Do you know when the first psychiatric hospital was founded in the United States?
No.
1811 by a group of Quakers, and they provided specifically just psychiatric care. And there was two groups of thought came up, but basically the one that became prevalent throughout the 1830s was a thing called moral treatment, and it was not using physical force or corporal punishment. It was not using isolation or restraint. It was about getting the patients to return as much as possible to normal integration. And it ain't perfect. They enforced it with the principle of fear until the 1860s. From the 1860s days they started using electroshock therapy mandatorily, although that was ceased after a while. There are some absolutely horrific instances of abuse, but welfare of patients has been there right since the start in 1811. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I do my research. I try and look after my patients. And the defense of insanity in law has been recognized in the United States of America before it was even the United States of America, 1634. This is my job, to know the law as it pertains to my patients. I'm not trying to dick swing here or say, hey, look, I'm powerful, you gotta listen to me. I'm trying to protect people I care about, and I care about my patients. Asylums are brutal, don't get me wrong. But there is a long documented history of trying to do the right thing to help these people. It's gone through several iterations. It's gone through drugs, it's gone through restraints, it's gone through corporal punishment, it's gone through putting them in poorhouses and almhouses with people who had infectious diseases. Again, electroshock therapy, immersing patients in boiling or cold water to try and use sensory deprivation. But you know what? The core of it, since the start in America, has been about trying to help people. If folks don't want to see that, well, I can't just stand by and let them be willingly blind. I've got to be the one jumping and yelling and go, hey, look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. Look at the McNaughton laws of 1843 were upheld by the Supreme Court in the United States of America in Davis versus United States in 1895. I've got to be the one jumping up and down and yelling and saying, look at this, because it matters. We just got out of a goddamn brutal civil war because people's lives, people's liberty, the things that we care about as Americans were being abused for reasons they couldn't control. Color of their skin, where they were born. I can't I can't not. It's like black water. I can't not.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that's hurting you. But I couldn't live with myself if I didn't go in to fight for this guy when he can't fight for himself. There are times he can't even form sentences. Not because he's on medication. He's catatonic. He can't. How is he meant to defend himself against criminal charges? Because he was shooting people that he thought were back in Tombstone 18 years ago in Arizona. How am I meant to let someone swing for that when it's been recognized for centuries in this country? Oh, I couldn't forgive myself if I didn't fight it to the end, didn't try. I don't know what to tell you.
You are singularly more compassionate than most.
And I mean, given the circumstances, Buck, you ought to know me well enough to know by now that if I found myself in a similar situation with similar beliefs about it, I would also do the same thing. I'm trying to hold myself together. I'm not doing that good of a job.
And you got a lot on your plate, don't get me wrong. I mean, this mayor stuff, this you get executed if we say you're corrupt bullshit. Jesus, I can't.
I don't care anymore. Let them hang me. I don't care.
Oh no.
I don't care.
No one would allow
They
that to
ain't
happen.
hanging Grady, darling. They ain't hanging you. And again, I don't want to resort to violence, but if they're going to unlawfully hang you, I will burn the
That
place
ain't
to
even
the ground.
in the question right now, but I'm just saying to make a point.
Yeah, well,
I just don't care anymore. I know
let me
what my
make it
motives
clear.
are. I know what my goals are.
Let me make it very, very clear. If they attempt to unlawfully hang you, I will make the massacre of Valentine look like playtime.
They aren't gonna hang me, Buck. You know that. I'm
Really?
just
Because
making
they
a
were going to hang Grady. They threatened you with corruption the first time you were mayor. Are you so certain?
no,
Really?
no. I mean, I guess we'll find out at the trial tomorrow, and that begs the question: how guilty is Bartlett really? Then
Does beg the question.
Bartlett's a blowhard. He's a pain in the ass. But is there enough intent to prove that he's corrupt enough to hang? Does he deserve to hang? Really? Does he?
I know some things about the evidence.
I don't like the guy. I don't
I
fucking
don't
like
like
the
the
guy.
guy either. But there is a
There
thing
is,
that
yeah.
concerns me. But I'm hoping that Hoffman will do the right thing and raise enough doubt that hanging him is not necessary. That's my hope.
I mean,
Hoffman's good. I mean, fuck, he's good. Jesus. He
I
scares
like
me.
him.
He seems like he has no emotional output, but he's good.
He knows his stuff.
He really does. And he cares about constitutional rights and civil rights, and that, more than anything, endears the fellow to me. I was told he was in Bartlett's pocket, and I didn't question because I couldn't see any emotional output
I
from
was
him.
told the same goddamn thing.
And you know what? I was wrong. I was
So was I.
absolutely wrong.
So was I.
I was absolutely wrong. Hoffman is.
You know, the problem with Bartlett is that he just does so much stupid shit. You know, he just.
Well,
He goes and he blusters and he blows and he posts things one after the other, lengthy pins on the pin board. There's other things too. I mean, I part of me thinks maybe the guy. I'm gonna trust that he really is corrupt, but given the situation and given the threats that
if
are going
what I've
around,
been told and the evidence against him is correct, he hired people to rob people outside in West Elizabeth to raise funds from his campaign from stolen guns, and also to get people to support his law and order type platform. If that is true, he is corrupt.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
as
Just
simple
I don't.
as I see it.
I just don't feel like I can believe anything anymore. And then I start thinking,
Sure you can.
what?
Sure you can believe things.
What? Who can I believe?
Back to basics. What feels right? What is the
What?
right thing to do?
What feels right is that judge being removed from his position.
And that's what we need to focus on right now. We had that meeting today as a sort of unplanned as it was. It seemed very telling.
Yeah,
And
I've sent my concerns to the Chief Justice about the
yes,
fact that she had a headache and was out, and he was immediately threatening me with contempt of court when we were not in a court setting.
Yeah.
He had been told by her, and what you're telling me in their compromise, that he couldn't be having those conversations
Yeah.
outside of court.
It's just another drop in the bucket of probably other people who have had similar experiences. But we need to get into the hands of the people the avenues in which they can voice these things.
Well, I think we take it to Hoffman. He's the best damn lawyer I've ever seen.
Well, he's fully aware of it at this point, I guess, because he was at that.
He's already been talking to me. We've already had several discussions.
But I mean, the people as a whole need to raise their voices to the Chief Justice. I mentioned this in the meeting. I don't remember if you were there for it, but that, you know, Mamie is our mayor, and she is technically responsible for raising her voice for us. But it's sort of clear that.
Considered being a judge. I'm serious. You've been a doctor, you've been a marshal. You got the law side, you got the empathy side. You're eminently reasonable. You keep a cool head, you're practical, and you're fair.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
The thing that bothers me about it all is that look at us and say that it's our burden and responsibility to find a replacement for him. When I feel it's the opposite. It should be their responsibility.
Likewise, it is not.
And yet they've laid that
But the
burden on
thing-
us and said, "I'll only replace him if you give me the replacement." How about fuck off?
Yeah, well, it's the
This
same
is
thing with Greg.
this is the problem. Is that even if, let's say I do become I replace Woods. Let's say I do that. There are still going to be people higher up that are not responding to the people. There's going to be, things happening that we aren't even. Well, we will be helpless no matter how high in the chain we go, because there's always going to be those people that are just not going to listen.
The thing is, the higher in the chain we are when they're doing that,
They won't let us do it. They wouldn't let us do it if we tried. Do you really think that people in those powerful positions, knowing who we are or getting to know who we are, and if we're voicing our opinions and they know where we stand, do you really think they would let us get up to a point where we could actually make a difference?
Let them try and stop us.
Well,
just because you can't save them all ain't no excuse not to try.
You know, I'd be the first person to say that, Buck.
If they are gonna press down and press down and press down, let us get as high as we can so everybody sees it. I'm not willing to accept. Oh, we can't make a difference because of these people, so let's not try. We can't make a difference because of these people. Let's try our goddamn best and expose them for what they
But we have been trying, and there's certain
Let's
things.
keep trying. You know that thing about the me posting the laws on the pinboard? Took them down. Nobody explained why. Nobody told me anything I asked. Nothing. So I wrote out and I put them up again. And I'm gonna keep goddamn doing that every goddamn day they take them down. Because all I am doing is posting law, and law by its virtue must be publicly available.
I'm gonna see if it's
and people need to remember they have rights here, and if they are being encroached upon by the higher powers, they need to see that's a problem.
They do know it's a problem. They just don't know it's happening because it's being hidden.
That's why we keep showing it again and again and again. We keep agitating. We keep pushing until either they listen or they get rid of us. And if they get rid of us, give riddance.
Alright, but once we start down this road, there isn't any turning back.
once we start down this road.
I'm afraid I've already started down that road.
I've been on this road from weeks, if not months, darling. We are already on the way. The carriage has left the station.
Alright, well, I'm sorry I haven't been
shown the ticket out any day now. You're fine. You had things. I understand. You had to go to California. You had to figure things out. You had to check Carson City, which we'll get to. We'll have to talk about. But I'm afraid if you're intending to stay here for very long, we may not be here for very long. We may not have that choice.
That's what I'm trying to determine.
Yeah, well, you do you. You do what you feel is right. But that's my intention. I'm going to keep agitating like hell until either it is fixed or I'm gone. Simple as that.
What is it you consider fixed, Buck?
Fixed?
Yeah.
How
does fixed look?
Fixed looks like an impartial judge or better group of 3 judges who hear cases where genuine issues of, is this an overreach of power by a marshal or a junior judge or a sheriff or a mayor or a governor or anybody else in a position where they have power over others? It gives people a voice and a route to resolution where they cannot be bullied out of it. I consider fixed where the laws of the land, the U.S. Constitution, and the federal code as written and applied to this state, written for this state, are followed by members in positions of power who have influence over the lives of others.
Well, I cannot guarantee that if I put my name in that hat that I will be there because of who runs things. I don't know if they're going to consider it.
I know, but you know what?
Because I am friends with Mamie.
I know. Hey, I'm friends.
And they don't know me.
It's pretty simple. If you put your name in the hat and they refuse you out of turn, we keep agitating.
Alright,
I'll
well.
endorse you. I'm head of a federal department. Mamie would endorse you. She's a mayor. William, also a head doctor. Shall we go on? I mean, Dawn owns a saloon. Two Feathers owns a gun store. Major business owners. Governors. Eddie Washington would probably support you. How many more do you need? And in high enough positions to say, yeah, this is who we want. Melina Trosker would support you if I talk to her. It's up to you. I don't want to push that on you.
I've just never been one for promoting myself like that.
No, you haven't. But that's what makes you so genuinely, inherently good.
The thing is, you ain't one to judge, which is why you'd be so good at it. You're impartial and you're fair, and you give a fuck about the people who are looking to get help.
That's most likely why they won't have me.
Yeah. So we agitate and we push and we get people who are in positions of authority who don't want to abuse their powers to say, yeah, we think this is a good candidate.
Alright, well.
I think you would kick ass. No pressure.
I appreciate the vote of confidence. Alright, well. But the other thing that we need to do is to get people into the forums.
Yeah, well.
As painful as that can be for some people, inconvenient or whatever, we need to direct them in the right directions if they do have things to say.
Well, let's say them in the forums, let's say them on the pin boards, let's have rallies, let's get it going.
Yeah.
Because either we agitate and something changes, or we agitate and we get kicked out. Don't matter to me. I know exactly what I intend to do here, and that is what I have just done with Grady, what I will keep doing with everybody else who needs my help and is not in a position to defend themselves. I will keep agitating. And I'll push for people who I know will protect them, like you. That's enough to get me kicked out, so be it. I don't care.
Alright. Well, let's do it then. I have to get some sleep. But,
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too. And, Mamie, if you end up talking to Jemma, I don't know if you're going to go to sleep or what you're going to do, but just, remind yourself that it's going to be okay in the end, and that you know Jemma, and you know her character, and that she can be passionate and opinionated and extremely loyal. We know that about her. And it may be that loyalty that comes between you or keeps her in your life. That's just depends.
Yeah.
But I don't think Jemma would ever say that she would leave your side as a friend because of something like this. And if she does, then I really don't think that it would be worth it. Even as long as we've known Jemma. If this is something that she's willing to part with you over, then I don't know what to say.
I don't either.
Because it wasn't your fault. And it wasn't your call. If she has problems with Buck, she has problems with Buck. That's between her and Buck, honestly. It shouldn't be between you.
Yeah. And maybe if you gotta choose between her and me, I won't hold no grudge if I understand. I understand.
She won't. She won't have to choose anything. Hopefully.
Well, if she does, I'm not gonna hold it against her either way. I made a call that hurt someone you care about. I'm sorry it did. It's the only call I feel I can.
But she cares about you too, and you know that.
I know that. I know that. I understand that she is now in this position because of my disagreement with Jemma. Gemma's feeling that her friendship with me is somehow a betrayal of their friendship, and I understand. You do what you gotta do, sweetheart. I love you anyway. Even if that means we're a bit distant from now on or for a while, that's okay.
Well, I guess we'll see. It's another half of that conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah, well.
But until then, I will say goodnight.
As Woody would say, go.
Yeah, go sleep. Mamie?
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. Try not to be too upset about it. If you get a chance to talk to Mamie, not to Mamie, to yourself. If you get a chance to talk to yourself, please tell yourself that you need to stop worrying so much. But if you get a chance to talk to Jemma, just, you know, I don't know. Just you know, your friendship should not be in limbo because of Buck's decision. That's just the end, in my opinion, just the end of that conversation.
Yeah.
And you can care about both and support both. And if she's going to make it a choice, then it's not really a choice.
Yeah.
Or service. If she's gonna make it a choice, you have freedom to choose either way. Again, I'm not gonna hold that against you. I get it. It's okay.
I think you know what to do, but good night. I hope
Good night, Andy.
I'll try. Yeah. I've got to start reading law books, I guess.
Love you.
Love you both.
And that very fun hat.
Do you want it? Do you want my fucking hat? Is that what you want? Are you looking jealous?
Can I bring
I'll